Hello.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So, by the way, we're live. I like just starting it on a whim.
Great.
So,
Hi.
what were we talking about the tattoos though? Oh yeah. So my dad is 69. He was actually our first podcast.
Was he?
Yeah. So he's 69 years old, and he told me the same thing. Like, don't get him past your elbows. I got him past my elbows. Don't get him on your hands or neck or anything. I got him on my hands. I'm not getting him my neck done, but
Connor's like, ooh.
yeah, exactly.
Fuck corporate life.
Right. But now here's the thing. My dad is filled up too. My dad has some tattoos and stuff, so it was like a little influence.
Yeah.
It was cool. Yeah. We went out west to Oregon. We actually got both like tattoos out there because like on a whim too.
Yeah, when was that?
October 2019.
So why'd you go out to Oregon?
Just vacation. I love it out there.
So, yeah, I really have been being called to take a trip out west.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I completely forget that Oregon is even a state.
See, here's the thing. It's a hidden gem. This is so like, initially I'll backtrack. When I graduated from Eastern in 2018, I was like a year before I graduated, I'm like, all right, I'm saving up for a vacation because after all the studying bullshit, I just want to get out of here and just relieve myself, you know? And so I was like, I had some places in mind. So I'm not like a huge beach guy. I like mountains and hiking and stuff like that. So actually Alaska was on my list, maybe Washington, like around that area, or even like Canada.
I was looking at Washington last night.
Yeah. And then I was like, Oregon, like, let me check this out and stuff. And it's fucking beautiful. Like those pictures, like that beach and stuff. I'll show you a picture. Like, it's amazing. Like the beaches are.
Oh my God, look at Sully.
Yeah. He's like the beaches are amazing, and it's not as crowded as like California.
Yeah.
Like in California didn't interest me at all.
Well, see, that's what I want to do. I really want to go, and my plan is that I want to go somewhere in complete solitude, and I want to be in complete silence, and I want to fast for 5 days. And then
Fast.
yes,
Okay.
Just
all right.
Talking to some
be
fasters right here.
Yeah.
Oh, are you fasters?
I fast. I don't eat until 5 o'clock.
Oh, that's usually what I do too.
Okay, so you don't eat breakfast or
I'm
anything?
on the opposite
no.
spectrum. I usually eat at 12 to 8, and then
Okay.
And then, so you do
yeah. So like
true,
I mean
like,
yeah. Through the morning,
intermittent fasting.
I usually feel better if I'm like not, if I don't eat, I guess.
Yeah, I
like
can't.
it better.
But you like that like. I just feel weighed down if I eat breakfast, honestly.
I feel
like,
so much more
same.
clear in my head.
Yes.
Same.
I
Yep.
love
It's like a
talking
survival
about
instinct.
fasters.
Yeah. It's like a pure feeling. It literally just cleanses your body.
It is.
Yeah. What made you start fasting? Just because of the way you felt?
When was it? I don't remember when exactly. I think I started doing keto, and I loved what that was doing to my
Nice.
body.
I've done
and
keto
then-
for a bit.
Yeah, and I think that
You
when
still on that?
I go in and out.
Okay.
Like I don't know, not super strict.
Right.
Really. I have found that fruits make me really happy. So
That's
kind
good.
of
That's
keep
good.
Yeah,
fruits
that's
in
one
my
thing.
diet.
That's an important note too. Is keto. Usually you can't eat fruit because sugar.
Right,
right.
Sugar and
That's the thing about
well,
keto,
sugar
man. I
and
couldn't do
carbs
that.
usually breaks down into glycogen in your body.
Yeah.
So sugar and carbs, usually do almost the same thing.
If you're burning off I mean, but fruits, it's better than the other types of sugar. It's the good
I mean,
sugar.
sugar.
Still.
I mean,
That's
fruits
pictures
are
of the
great for
Oregon
you.
beaches if you want. Yeah, it's fucking
my
amazing.
God.
The beaches are huge, man. Dude, you should go out there. I know you want to go down
Did you
south
see
though,
that?
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
huge.
awesome.
It's awesome.
Holy shit.
They're
oh
like-
my God, that's your dad.
Yeah, their dog.
He's so
Shout out to
cute.
Joe Buck. He's the fucking man.
Joe Buck.
Buck?
Yeah.
Joe Buck is the
Don't
man.
scroll too much.
Okay.
I don't know what you'll find. Yeah, but
the greatest fear that everyone has on
Yeah.
the planet right
yeah,
now.
See a drop of sweat on your head,
Yeah, I
Brennan.
started the thumb,
Your head got a little shiny there,
going,
Brennan.
man. But no, Connor wants to go out. So you want to go to another hidden gem that I think is like Tennessee
Oh, do
around
I?
there. No, dude, Tennessee
Yeah.
is like up and coming, like Nashville and
Yes.
stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
Tennessee.
keep hearing that. The Nashville is
Yeah.
the new
Yes,
New York. Or
it's a new like
whatever they-
hip
yeah.
town. Like I like Portland because I like the food in Portland, Oregon, and stuff like that. It's really bike friendly.
I did not think about. I feel like that. I'm gonna look into that.
The food out there is good. It's very like environmentally friendly city. Like it's the most bike populated city in America. And I went to the first time. I've been out there twice. The first time I went, I rented a bike and just cruised around just checking out restaurants and everything. It was awesome. I like it because you can go to the beach. Like if you're in Portland, hour and a half to the beach, and then if you want to go inland, you can hike up Mount Hood. Like and then there's snow on the ground, so it's like awesome. It's a completely different
All
experience
right, I'm
than
gonna
up there.
definitely
That's
look
really-
into that then.
Yeah, just out west anywhere.
That's-
I started looking into it after you went
Yeah,
there, and
dude.
I was like, man, that's
Yeah,
fucking
man.
cool.
It's
Dude,
just like a
we've
soul
talked.
cleanse.
Yeah, it's like-
It is. That's what it was. It was like okay, I'm done with college, and like this is
Yeah.
just a relief. You know what I mean?
So would you say that that's your favorite place that you've ever been to?
Yes, I've considered in the future like moving out there. Like when I
I could
reach
see
like
you there.
28,
Yeah.
30. I like to live a simple life, you know.
Yeah, I've always known.
You know,
that.
that's,
that fits you.
Yeah,
That definitely fits
exactly.
you.
Like I could
That
live
always
on
does.
like have a decent amount of land, you know, chill with my dog or something. That's it.
the freaking dream right
Yeah.
there.
So, and my girlfriend's actually, she's been out there too, and she's familiar with the area. So you never know.
We'll see.
You never know what could happen. But, anyways, guys, that was actually a very, very long introduction. Welcome to the 860 show. We have our guest Kaitlyn Czapiga. Kaitlyn, introduce yourself.
Hi.
How do we?
Where do I look? I'm like, hello.
Look great. Look
Hi.
great. The weather's
Canada.
nice outside. We're all just soaking up the sun, taking advantage of it. You know, trying not to get COVID still. You know, but you know it is what it is. We're doing our best. So, Kaitlyn, explain how we know each other, all three of us. Let's hear it.
That's a great question.
And explain yourself. Just
I think,
Yeah.
we're some of the Hebron homies from back in the day. I'm pretty sure we were in preschool together.
We might have been.
Preschool
Really?
or
I don't
kindergarten or
remember.
something. I know.
My memory.
how do you remember that?
Yeah, how do you?
I don't know, but we all grew up together, and we never really had a close friendship.
Right,
so
right.
it's
Yep.
fun to be here.
Yeah,
Like I said to you
exactly.
guys,
Cool.
it's fun to have that break from high school to now, and
Oh,
just be like,
man,
let's
yeah.
check in and see where each other's at.
8 years. 8
Is
years.
it? No, it hasn't been.
That's 2012, right?
Oh my god.
Graduated in
Yeah,
2012.
it's been I think it's been
8 years, and we graduated. What was our exact graduation date at RAM? It was June something.
It was
right?
late. It was late June.
Late June.
It was 20th, maybe.
Remember how
23rd.
fucking hot it was?
Yes.
20.
Yes.
Yes. Dude, I was dying. I was
was
dying.
awful.
It was so hot.
That might have been
was
the one
brutal.
day that I was like on the verge of dehydration, like death.
Yeah, it was. But hey, it's better than no graduation because this whole COVID. Imagine going to high
yeah,
school
for
and you don't
sure.
get a graduation.
Yeah, I know.
That
I feel
sucks,
so
man.
I
bad.
agree.
But
For
I
the
think
poor
they're
kids.
working it out for them. I think like later on.
Still,
in the summer
it's
and
like,
stuff.
but I mean, like to be fair though, graduation was fun. It's like
Yeah.
you get to like see.
I forget what I did.
yourself
in graduation.
graduating.
Oh, I remember. What was it called? What was the
Project
project
Grad.
Yeah.
Fuck
You didn't do
that
that,
shit.
right?
I didn't go to
hated
that.
that.
I didn't go to that.
Yeah, I was like.
I went home and went to sleep.
Yeah, I was
Dehydration.
That's a real project.
Yeah,
Grad.
that's what I wanted to do initially. You had the right idea, man. You were right. So
Yeah.
it could snap in your head. Sometimes it snaps though. You get to crackle a little bit.
Yeah.
You get a little bit. Okay, don't worry about
Is
that.
that just me? Am I doing that?
No. It's
So
fine.
we'll
Don't
let this
worry
out.
about
We'll let this out.
it. No. Anyways,
We'll let this out.
anyways,
Technical difficulties.
yeah, Project Grad now. Yeah, that was. I mean, I was kind of
I
like
just
forced to go
remember
into it.
I
Oh,
will
gosh.
not name this person, but it was
Oh,
a
gosh.
certain redhead in our grade.
Okay.
And I remember seeing him on there was like a roller skating rink or something, and he was tripping on something
Oh,
and
boy.
was just having a blast.
Good for him.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to put a finger on who you're talking about.
Oh, I think I
but
know what you're talking
You
about.
must know.
We'll
what
talk
I'm
about
talking
this
about.
after.
I know.
Yeah.
Off the mic.
Shout out to him.
Yeah,
Okay, cool,
shout
cool.
out to my boy.
Wait, there was a roller skating rink?
Yeah, there was everything. It was
Oh.
the most bizarre place to be.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you remember they had a hypnotist.
Oh, I remember that part.
They had
I
a
heard
I
that.
do
hypnotist
remember
there.
that part.
Do you
Yeah.
remember who got hypnotized?
No. Do
I
you?
don't either. No.
I think I remember shorter guy from Marlboro. I forget his name.
it all just blurs together.
Anyways, yeah, that's been so long, honestly. But
Yeah.
we're here to talk about. We're interested from within those 8 years, what exactly happened. You know.
A whole bunch of shit.
Yeah,
Brendan.
let's start from like square one. You know, let's start from square one.
Alright.
Where'd you decide to go to college? Did you get accepted anywhere else other than where you
Yeah.
decided to go?
Yeah, my whole college thing, I never really wanted to go to college. That
Really?
was not something that
No shit.
felt right to me. And
Yeah, you were kind of forced into it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say forced, but it was expected that I went.
Gotcha,
And
yeah.
so I originally went into UConn as a fine arts major because I'm an artsy person. That seemed like it would fit. And that major just didn't work out. And so I ended up going for the first 3 years completely undecided. And I was taking the most insane classes I took, like nutrition, oceanography, Arab studies,
Wow.
women gender studies, like everything I could because I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Right, so you just kind of took like
It's
a
good
broad
to
spectrum.
it's good
yeah.
it's good to do that.
But I
honestly.
felt
It
like
is,
every-
especially if you don't know what you
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
But so many people had a plan. So many people knew like I was doing business or nursing or
Yeah.
XYZ.
Did you feel like a pressure?
Oh God, yeah. And I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I remember I ended up choosing speech pathology because I was interested in phonetics. I thought linguistics was cool, so I did that. But then I remember as soon as I picked that major, I developed such an insane anxiety disorder, debilitating panic
Really?
attacks,
Okay.
like clinical depression was just
Yeah.
I was falling apart. I
Okay.
was absolutely falling apart.
Was this like what, halfway through your college career?
This
Like-
was, I want to say this was like 2015.
Okay. Because so
2015?
did you develop these because of the pressure and stuff? Just because you felt like, okay, all these people seemed like it was like all these people are normal. I'm not, like they have their mind set on a path type of thing. Was that?
I think at the time, in retrospect, I think that I had just gone so far out of alignment to what my soul was meant to do that it was just
Everybody has that path, yeah.
Yeah, everyone does have a path, and that's why I think anxiety, depression, those are markers that you're not in alignment, that you have kind of strayed off course, and
Yes.
it's trying to urge you back to
Yeah.
listen to that inner voice.
And it's a shame to people who don't listen to those, and they just kind of
know.
like disregard them. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The whole like cliches of like, you know, just suck it up type shit. You know what I mean?
Which
Right?
I think is
I
a
know what you mean.
is a pattern that's starting to crumble more
Yes,
and more.
I agree with
definitely.
that.
And I
I
keep
definitely
seeing
agree.
it.
I always say that like when I have a kid, I'm gonna the whole like be a man type deal. I think that dude, that's just like so passive.
Yeah.
It's
just
it's falling
dude.
away.
Honestly, like
Yeah, definitely.
I realized with age, like getting older and just like talking to your friends, your family about like how you feel and all that, so much. You feel so much better. You like
Yes.
you have to like
to feel,
yeah, you
because
have
that's
to like understand
that's the
where
thing.
it's where it comes from.
To be like intuitive with
Yeah.
that. I mean, because you can't disregard it. You're feeling that certain way for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. I mean, being men in this age, do you find that you are still uncomfortable dealing with emotions, or do you feel you're able to process and
yeah,
express them
I do.
more naturally? Because what's that like for you guys? I mean,
I express it. So I go to the therapist too. Like I just go to the therapist just because I feel like it's just healthy.
Beautiful.
It's just it's healthy
and
for me.
and
So-
stating that out into the
yes.
world will
Yeah.
help other men feel like this is
Oh
completely
yeah, no,
normal.
I'm not even ashamed to say that
You
at all.
don't need
but I
to
just,
be ashamed.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
love
no.
that you express it.
Yeah, so I've been seeing him for 5 years now too,
Beautiful.
and it's just like a good release, you know. When
Oh,
he's
totally.
like the I could talk to my I'm close with my parents now. I used to not be when I was in high school and stuff, and we've built a tighter connection. But now it's like, I mean, I'm tight with them, but it's like you can't talk about everything with them.
Right.
It's good to have that source that's just completely unbiased and doesn't know all your ins and outs of your upbringing. I mean, obviously they know the ins and outs, but they're not unbiased in a sense.
Yes.
So, it's a great decision I made. So, but I still have like the stigma still is strong in some senses to kind of like still man up
Yeah.
though. It really is, honestly.
It's just that's just kind of like
Yeah.
well, we've talked about this a few times.
Yeah,
just like it's in
probably.
I mean, it's in men's nature to want to, to
Yes, to be
like provide. And
Yes.
Be,
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is like we're so smart now that it's like we know that that's just
Right.
It's just not like it's bullshit.
It's conditioning.
Right.
It's societal conditioning.
like I feel like I think there are still responsibilities that men should uphold and still hold, but
What exactly do you mean by that?
like providing and stuff, like I still I mean, for me that's just it just comes instinctually to still like provide and stuff, but I shouldn't feel like when it comes to emotions I shouldn't feel ashamed to express them, you know what I
Right.
mean? Where I think is back then it was like it was just strictly the one channel, just provide and that's it. Just grind out, provide, doesn't matter what you're doing.
Don't
Like,
access any of that
don't
undercurrent of emotion.
Yeah, exactly. And like, don't worry about building a good relationship with your children or
Yep.
or with your wife or whoever. Don't worry about that. Just grind out and that will satisfy everything. You know what I mean?
I think in this day and age, it's very realistic to, to expect that both, you and your partner can be providers.
Yes. What the hell's wrong with
Yeah.
that?
Absolutely. I think
What-
once you
what the
get rid
hell's
of that,
wrong with
once
that?
you get rid of that, they always say like toxic masculinity. Well, once
Yeah.
you just get rid of that and realize that, like you can like kind of like fight your instinct to say,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be superior. You don't have to like. It's dude. It's just
Because if you it's forcing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Right.
so.
Yeah.
Man,
I completely
I'm
agree
so
with
much
you, man.
happier when I'm with someone, and it's just we both have our own lives.
Yeah.
we both kind of can provide for each other just
It just
because
flows,
we
yeah.
want to
Well,
and because
I think if we're going to talk about the topic of relationships, I think what I keep seeing and that I've been exploring in myself I've been single for the past like year and a half, almost 2 years, and
Okay.
I've just done so much work on understanding myself, and I feel like one of the biggest things that's happening in this society is that we are incomplete people and we are not allowing
Yes.
ourselves to become whole, so we're seeking that completion in someone else instead of trying to
Of course,
complete
yeah. I always say that.
ourselves.
I always
Yes.
say that.
Yes.
So I've just been working on making myself completely whole and balancing my masculine and my feminine so that I am complete, so that I can attract another complete being.
Awesome.
Yeah,
who
it's
is
like
Well,
not-
very well said.
yeah, I was
honestly.
just like, it's like I was just picturing this. It's like just like a puzzle piece, and just you got
Yeah.
this.
So
Once you
I
find that
think
connection,
we've touched
you
on
know?
this a little bit too, and
Yeah.
I've always actually me and Brennan both have kind of the same. Well, now he has a girlfriend, but I mean we've kind of had the same, look on this
Yes.
for a while, and we've always talked about this that if you feel like you need someone else, then like you said, you're not
Right.
You're not ready for that.
Exactly.
No,
You need
gotta-
to, dude. Like
nope.
you can
Exactly.
only.
I
You
completely
can't
agree.
you can't. Like if you base your self-worth on having someone else in your life,
Yeah.
who are you?
That's
Do
very
you even know who you
unhealthy.
are? I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly it. You lose
Yeah.
your identity. You become
Yes.
part of a relationship instead
Yeah.
of being just you.
exactly.
Yeah,
I completely.
It's
agree
more
with
so
that.
like you're just gaining that person's identity versus the healthy way to do it is just share your identities
Yeah.
and build
And when
from
you
that.
when you value your self-worth, and
Yes.
not just
Oh,
through
yeah.
someone else.
Oh, self-worth. We could dive into self-worth, you guys. when
Oh,
it
I got
comes-
plenty. What
Oh.
you said, I already got
Oh,
topics
when
in
we
mind.
get into
so-
manifestation, I hope we get there.
Okay, we'll
I
get there.
mean,
Trust me. I think we'll get there.
Okay.
So, I'm going back to now your education, starting there.
Right.
Okay. So was you speech pathology,
Yep,
right?
I was in speech pathology.
Okay. And you said you were interested in like phonetics and what was
And
your-
linguistics. It was just like
Okay.
the only
what,
two
What
things.
interests you about that?
I just really find, I don't know, I find it interesting the way that people speak and the different mechanisms that we're using constantly that we're unaware of. It was just fascinating.
Okay.
But I remember going back to that whole like dark period. There was just this one day where I had such a bad panic attack that I was on the floor, like couldn't get up, couldn't breathe,
Really?
couldn't see. And I just remember sitting up and being like, I need to do something.
Yes.
And so I ended up texting my mom and I was like, Mom, I need to see someone. I am not well.
Yeah.
To the point where I was like, I was so unwell that I would be driving in the car and not to say that I would ever do this, but there were just such dark thoughts in my head of like just fantasizing, but just like what would happen if I just drove into this
geez,
street?
yeah,
Like
right.
what would happen?
Right,
Like would
yeah.
I die? What would happen if I died?
No.
It just shit like
You're
that.
not alone on thinking of stuff like that too. Everybody, a lot of people.
Yeah,
think like that, so.
exactly. But
Right.
I didn't want that to be my reality.
Right,
So
right.
I ended up seeing a psychiatrist, got put on a dose of antidepressants, was diagnosed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, and I share this story with so many of my clients because I remember the one day where I walked outside. It was the middle of winter at UConn, and it was freezing cold, but it was one of those winter mornings where the sun was out, and there was
kind of a blissful
there's like
experience.
icy bits on the trees, and I remember walking out and like seeing the clouds in the sky, and I just remember that feeling of being like, oh my god, I'm happy again. And it was like I
Wow.
finally could like breathe. And then from that point on, I really just made a commitment to myself that I would never let myself sink as low as I did again. I would constantly be chasing what brings me joy and how can I anchor this sensation in my body always. So it was a total journey, and there was plenty ups and downs, and I'm
Of
not on
course.
any medications anymore for the past couple years.
Good
but
for you.
Awesome.
Good for you.
and I'm the happiest I've ever been. I feel so, like I said, I feel whole. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm living my purpose. I'm on my path. I'm helping. I'm serving. So,
Yeah.
after school though, I graduated and I ended up not even getting a degree in speech pathology. Because my
Really?
advisor
Okay.
knew that I didn't want to do it, and she was like, "You've got enough credits to graduate liberal arts and sciences," and I was like, "Sign me up, honey!
Might
Like,
as well
get
just
me
get
the
it out of the
fuck
way.
out of here!"
Right.
And so, well, after that point, I didn't know what I was going to do. And so, long story short, had a drunk conversation in a car with an ex-boyfriend, figured out that I wanted to try out art therapy. And I found a low
It's a very
residency.
interesting subject, yeah.
It is interesting, but it blended the things that I loved: art, listening, helping people, being creative. So I went through that program and I loved it, loved the people I was with, had incredible experiences. But that was also the time when my spirituality really started to unfold, and I was starting to really experience beautiful synchronicities and incredible things that were just blowing me wide open.
So pause right there. Was this enlightenment, like this rough period, was it like a blessing in disguise? do
Oh,
you think?
absolutely.
So do you,
I think every
so you don't
period
think
is.
where you're at now, you needed that step, that barrier?
1,000%.
Okay.
I think everybody has to go through these dark nights of the soul. They kind of redirect you.
Yeah.
You have to hit rock bottom before you can look up and be like, all right, where
Yeah,
can I go from
get
here?
a fire under you and just like, get
Exactly.
going, because
Yep.
there's always that. you said it was like there's always that one path that's like that everybody has where once you kind of pursue it, you know it feels right. It just feels right. You know what I mean?
It feels
like,
right, and things unfold very easily, very naturally. Yeah. And that's how I think you really know you're in alignment, when these beautiful opportunities just kind of appear out of thin air, where you're just like, oh, this is how it should be, because life should be easy.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't like go looking for it too. It just happens. You know.
You just have to be very.
I think there's like a good middle ground for it. You know, some people will never search. I mean, you have to apply yourself to some degree, right? For like anything. But I mean, I kind of relate to like what you're saying. Like college, I went to MCC for you
have a completely different outlook. So from his outlook, like you could probably feel in a sense the same pressure, but you were in a different situation.
I very much went through a lot of what you went through.
Yes.
Out of high school, dude. I don't even think you know this about me. Like same thing. I would get like such bad anxiety to leave my house. That like
it's crippling, man.
Dude,
it's
I
debilitating.
did. Yeah. Like I would rather just not talk. Now it's like I can hang out with I can meet anybody and like talk to people.
Dude, he's one of those people. Yeah, he can talk to anybody.
Yeah,
he really can.
And I didn't like, but I wasn't always like that. I mean, especially like right out of high school.
Right.
I think it really came down to kind of like what you were saying. Like I never knew who I was.
Right.
And maybe right now I still don't know who I am, but I don't know.
But you feel probably more comfortable than you.
Yeah, man. Like I would like
there
was like a point where I wouldn't talk to anybody, and even just like leaving the house to go like to the market or something, I would be so like anxious and everything, man. And like I don't know what, honestly, man, to this day I don't know what I really changed that much. I think I just kind of woke up one day and just started forcing myself to do things that I wasn't comfortable with. Yeah. And the more I forced myself to do things that I wasn't comfortable
you were
with,
fed up with that shit.
Yeah,
like
I would be like I'd be like fucking on the verge of like throwing up just to like talk to people, man.
Right.
And then like I remember it just started getting easier and easier, and then I just accepted myself more. I used to not like looking at myself. I used to not like my body. I was like chubby when I was younger. People made fun of me when I was younger just for everything about me. So it's like older I got, man, I like who I am. I do. I really do. Like I really like who I am. And now it's like I have so much like more self-confidence nowadays that like I don't nobody
like I'm in the same situation, but and I still am trying to, you can always be better too,
of course.
That's always, and that's like a momentum in itself, you know. That's like a enlightening thing, because you know that okay, like today's good, but you know it could always be better. I still have these defects. Everybody does. Yeah, of course. Maybe not as major as, you know, the situations which bring you to rock bottom, but you learn from your mistakes, obviously, the whole cliche and stuff. And you know, it's but yeah, man, I experienced the same thing, not to the extent that you guys had. I mean, I have, but we won't talk about that because the show is about
but I want to hear.
So you should talk about yourself. Talk about what
your listeners and your viewers want to hear about you too.
No, we will save that. We'll save that for future content. We will save that.
Okay.
Going back to education, and you finally graduated now.
Finally graduated.
Okay, and you just got to the point where you just wanted to get the fuck out, right?
Yeah, and let's skip forward a little bit to when I finally decided to do this master's program for art therapy.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. You got your master's degree?
Yeah, well, so that's the thing, is that seems like the only option, right? Like I didn't have any sort of real degree that would have, I just still.
Hey, I graduated with a degree in psychology, okay? How do you think I feel? So, I know exactly how you feel.
Analyze me, doc.
Hey, at least you guys both graduated.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I'm a 2-month college dropout.
But you know what?
I love that for you.
Hey, 2 months though. I was there for 2 months.
We're living good, right?
Counts.
You're not a bum. You're not living under a bridge, right?
Of course not, dude. It's about who you are,
bullshit.
man.
You know what?
Yeah, absolutely.
It depends.
If you let it consume you and say, hey, here's a perfect example. If you let it consume you, I actually did this for a little bit, and to say, oh, you know, like, well, you know, I didn't go to college, so. Well, someone with a college degree probably has a better chance at getting this job or doing this. Right. Dude, man, like, now look at me, man, like, covered in tattoos, fucking one arm, man. Like, I can go in for an interview, but I can go in for an interview and say, like, listen, I'm fine with who I am. I'm going to bust my ass. You want to hire me? Like, if you hire me, I will fucking prove myself.
And that is what will get you so far in life.
Dude, that's what matters more than anything.
I'm so happy that you're yourself, because authenticity is a movement right now. And the more authentic you can be in yourself and you can show that to other people, you are not only giving that to yourself, but you are giving them the permission to be authentic as well.
Absolutely.
Right. You're a pioneer of it. You
Exactly. A renegade.
Yeah, who knows?
Exactly.
You can be all it takes is one person to influence, just be a role model. That's all it takes, man. And that you're changing a life. That's a big fucking deal. You know, you got to look at the quality of it and stuff. So so you're outlier in this situation from not going to college and stuff, but you're still pursuing.
Honestly, I don't feel.
You're still pursuing.
I will
yourself.
talk to people that graduated college and all that, and I don't feel less of. I mean, I used to. I used to feel less like, maybe I should have graduated college. Maybe people see me differently. Maybe this. Man,
it's just not for you. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And listen, I'll tell you right now, my job that I'm doing right now is, I mean, obviously the things I learned in college probably help me in certain ways that I'm not consciously aware of, but what I'm doing right now, I didn't learn in college. I'm a hypnotist. I'm a Reiki master. I'm like a manifestation teacher. Like, this is the shit you learn in college. I built my own business off of the shit that interested me.
Yeah.
That you can't learn in college.
So that's inspirational, honestly. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's partially, why we wanted to have you on here. Is I just knew, I knew you'd have so much good, so much good insight. I mean, so much good shit to talk about.
Thank you.
That's why
I sat on the phone yesterday. It's like, not to toot your own horn, but you were just always that prestigious person in high school. And
what do you mean by that?
Like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
No, prestigious.
I'm curious.
Prestigious is like very well-rounded. Like, you're not a narrow-minded person. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, prestigious isn't like,
I thought you meant like,
Oh, like class, like class-wise, higher class.
Okay.
And like, no. I didn't mean that in that sense.
Okay, no, I know what you're getting at.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, matter of respect, like a person, like not a lot of people hated you. I feel like I don't know, maybe I
tried my best.
Everybody hated her.
I don't know. You never know. So
that's honestly why we both kind of wanted to have you on. I mean, we, like you said before, we weren't super good friends or anything, but I remember every time we would talk to you or I would talk to you or something, you were always very nice, very open.
Miss Barton's class was fucking awesome. I love Miss Barton's class. I talked to her.
Oh, it was Miss Barton.
Yeah,
I started Whole Foods not too long ago. She had no idea who I was.
I was serving her too. I remember her voice. She sat down with her family and stuff, and I was serving her and stuff. I remember her voice, and then she instantly knew when we were talking and stuff. I brought you up, and everything.
That's cool.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, she was cool. She was great. I think she still is there too.
I also think that we really had a special grade. I feel like
very dynamic.
Our class was really respectful of one another. I felt like honestly. It was, for the most part.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a really special group of people.
Yeah, there was no like really.
There was no real. No, there was no. There weren't really any like big cliques or anything like that. It was like everyone just kind of got along, which is kind of shocking for high school.
Right. And I will say this: I am nothing like who I was in high school.
Who is?
Oh my god, no one is.
Drastic.
If you
I'm
are
reverting back to like thinking about like
who you are from high school, then what are you doing in your life?
What? That's a really good point, Brendan, and that's something that going forward with my business, like when I first started to have this idea of what I wanted to formulate and how I was going to present it to the world and how I was going to like kind of get my voice out there, that was one of the biggest shadows I had to work through. And it took a while to get to the awareness that there was a part of me that was so nervous of how are all these people from high school going to receive this, because they are remembering me in a certain way,
but I am a filter of who you were,
who I once was, but now I am a completely different human. God, and so I had to own that.
That's why personally, this is for me. I don't have any social media at all, and it's so relieving.
Oh,
like,
it's
I try not to.
Dude, it's like the only reason why I'd want to is just to like keep in connection. But honestly, I don't need to keep in connection with anybody I went to high school with. I really don't.
Me and you were always kind of similar in that sense. I just kind of like being ghosts.
You know what I did? Because we talked about this on the last podcast and the one with Shelby and Tyler. It's a filter, it's a lens that you said it yourself. It's a lens that you see through. Nobody puts all the bad stuff on social media.
Of course not.
Everybody's trying to one up each other. Like, I went to Peru, and I went on a fucking trip to Italy or something.
Dude,
like
that's harmful. I mean,
it is.
Like people will see their value their self-worth. Well, my friends from high school are going on exotic trips all the time, but they don't show you the negatives, like the fucking debt that they're in, how they got there, what they're doing after. Like they're not always doing that. It's like they're not showing the day they wake up and they're like, I don't fucking want to be here. I want to be alive. Like they're not showing that.
I noticed first, like with Instagram, that because I never really was a big Instagram in the sense that I was someone who scrolled through Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
I'll go on and I'll pop something on because to
Yeah.
me it's more
Well,
of like a photo album.
And it's different for you because you have like your own business too.
Yeah.
So that's where it's different, I think, because like
Yeah.
you're promoting. In a
Well,
sense,
I don't
and
really use it for promotion. I use
No?
it, like I
Okay.
said, like for me, it's like I just have looked at it as a milestone keeper. Like I can scroll
Yeah,
back all the way to
yeah.
2012 and see my life through pictures. But
Yeah,
I
agree in that sense.
realized scrolling through Instagram back when I used to do it, how it would fuck with my head.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you're
Oh,
saying,
man.
like you are just
Just
there's no way to
comparing
not
all
compare
these-
yourself to
Absolutely.
other people.
Right.
It's
So
just-
it
it's
was
in your
like,
nature.
fuck
It's in your
that,
nature to
I'm
do
out.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
out. And that was very recently. I was a huge Twitter person. I love Twitter so
You
much.
do? Oh, I hated
Oh,
Twitter. I had Twitter for probably like fucking like 2
loved
months.
Twitter.
I was like,
And-
this is.
Oh, I loved it.
Really?
But the thing,
Wait,
it
did you
was
delete it?
hilarious. Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh, good
of
for
you know what? I deleted it. I went through and you can mute certain words on Twitter. So the whole
Really?
politic thing, I was just like, fuck that.
Yep.
And so I went
That's
through.
actually what made me delete Twitter.
Oh yeah, and so I went through and I muted
Or-
like
yeah.
Democrat, Republican, Trump, like all
Yep.
that shit, muted it.
Yep.
And then the coronavirus thing started happening, and I was like, I
Okay.
am out of here.
Oh, so this is pretty recently when you.
Oh yeah, a
deleted
few
it.
months ago. And
Oh,
as
okay.
soon as I did it though, I was like, oh my
Right.
god, look at all the time I have.
Yeah, I deleted mine 2016. I remember. That's a good point. I was trying to figure out the reason. The final straw was the election. Everybody,
Ugh.
you know, when elections come around, a big deal like that, everybody has their opinion. And I'm like, nope,
I'm out.
It doesn't. It
I'm
doesn't
out.
do.
Sometimes
anything.
it's better to
Nope.
just be in like the silence
Yes.
is just sometimes it's just better, man.
Because you know what? Regardless of what people say online and stuff, your life doesn't change.
No.
I'm still
You just
gonna
get
have
mad.
to. Right. Exactly.
You're
But
just
that's like
living
that's
in
what it's
anger.
for, you know.
Right,
It's like
exactly.
it wants to.
yes. Yeah.
It's like you don't like you said. I don't let that like play
Yeah.
to my life. I don't.
It's a
just all
narrative
the-
that
yeah.
people are trying to fill. It's an alter ego.
I feel
that
it every
you
time
build,
I
you
watch
know?
the news or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Why- why
like
don't
you
they
can
talk-
you
like,
can
why don't they
be
talk
somebody.
about-
It's so that you can be somebody you're absolutely not through social media.
Yeah.
You
No,
can
absolutely.
just-
I
Yeah.
agree with that.
You can kind of
Yeah.
like if you really
You
want
can
to
craft yourself.
construct it. Yes,
Exactly.
like you're constructing like an
Your
alter identity that
version
you
of
want
you.
to seem.
We've
yeah.
talked about this too.
Right.
I just much rather just talk to people in person and
Oh,
just
it's more
I know.
mutual.
or on the
It's
phone
like
or
a
something,
much
or
more
just whatever. It's
yeah.
like so much more personal, and
Yeah.
I don't like the
I know it's unfortunate just nowadays. You know, it just sucks with smartphones and stuff. It's like it's a necessary thing that you need to have.
Well, it's good to have for
essentially.
convenience, but it's not
Right.
it's,
It's
not,
not.
necessary to constantly be
Yeah.
checking what's going on or like who around you is doing better than you or
Right.
whatever.
Because during those moments when you're checking that stuff, you could just be doing your own thing.
yeah.
So, which is But anyways,
Yeah.
we're veering off. But no, this is fine. I like it. This is cool. So I just want to let's talk about the business now.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Do you know anything about? So she said, Brett. I asked like, oh, what do you do? You said you were a hypnotist. I'm like, okay,
That's
I
fucking awesome.
Absolutely no knowledge. My mom. The only knowledge I know is that my mom got hypnotized for smoking. And that
Yeah,
worked
and it
for her.
worked. It's,
Really?
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my
It
mom
ha-
went to a hypnotist twice,
Yep.
and the second time it worked,
Yep.
and she stopped smoking.
Really?
And I'll
Yeah.
tell you,
No way.
Yep.
That's
when it
amazing.
comes to
Dead
when
serious.
it comes to smoking
Yep.
cessation, hypnosis is I can't remember the exact number, but I mean you can try patches, you can try
Mm-hmm.
all these other different ways. It's cold turkey, whatever it is. Hypnosis is like 96% effective.
That's crazy,
Within
man.
3 sessions, you will
I
stop
just don't
smoking.
understand how that works. I just
Well,
don't.
Okay,
it's
get
I
it.
might,
I know, this is
I might need
really-
to, I might need to go to you to quit,
I'm
to quit
very-
my smoking.
oh,
habit.
it
That is
is-
one habit that I definitely need
Yeah.
to quit is smoking.
Oh
That
my
is-
god, if you want to quit it, you can quit it.
Yeah, I see. Like I always say that like I can quit when I want to, and I do. Usually, sometimes like you know me. Sometimes I'm
On
just
and off. Yeah.
But like sometimes I find
you
myself
can.
with that fucking like
Right.
wake up and like I'm not a person that gets addicted to anything, man.
Right.
But you know
I
what?
mean,
Like,
but everybody
nicotine
has their
is
vice, you know?
so addictive
Yeah, it's-
though.
Oh man, that's what it's built for. It's a
Yeah.
fucking multi-billion-dollar
Oh
industry.
yeah. Yep.
But you know what? I mean, everybody has their vice. Not saying that it's obviously it's not good for you, but you know what? Hey, you could have worse vices. But I understand. But that is an extremely tough vice to just let go of.
Yeah.
Nicotine,
Yeah.
man.
It
That's
is.
the toughest of all.
It is.
Honestly, really, because it's first of all it's legal and it's so it's not lethal.
It's accessible.
Exactly. It's accessible. It's not
Yeah.
lethal. It's just something that you just do. It's like a habit,
Right.
you know?
Exactly.
It's a habit.
For
man.
me, driving in my car, man.
Yep, exactly.
That-
You have these
that
moments where
trigger,
it's
I'm just
this,
like-
it would just make it's like this situation. You know, a cigarette would make it a little bit better.
Yes.
You know, that's what I mean. It's just
Especially
like
with
a
stress,
little.
too.
It's just a little bump.
But it's like
Uh-huh.
That's what it is.
I'd say like I'm very you know, like I can understand when something like has a control on me, but it's like with cigarettes, and I can usually like kind of get rid of whatever has that control on me, like humans, like friends, bad friends, relationships, anything. But with cigarettes, man, like it's like.
But you probably rationalize it, like okay, like
I'd say
I went
I'm
for a run, so I'll have
I'd say
a
I'm a very
cigarette.
rational person, or like, when it comes to you know most things, but with cigarettes, it's like I can feel that.
Some people are
like,
just everybody has the thing that just like they're susceptible to. You know, I shouldn't. Yeah, there's no feel.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
So
I do.
Hypnosis though is just talk about hypnosis though in itself though. I don't know how it works. Like how do you learn how to do it? What is that's got to be.
Well, let me back up so I can explain like what exactly it is I'm doing.
Yes.
So I ended up, the whole art therapy thing was really wonderful, but I just kept saying that I wanted to be more than an art therapist, and I wanted to explore these other I don't even know what the word is. It's not spiritual. It's more like taboo things that I was so drawn to. I didn't want to be an art therapist at all.
Okay.
So I ended up dropping out of the program, just completely dropped out, didn't tell anybody, and I had no plan in place whatsoever. I did not know what I was going to do. And then I just had such a faith in the universe at this point that it would just work out. And my spirituality had developed so much. It was very tangible, and I knew I was being guided. I knew that I was following a path. I knew that I would be okay. Didn't know what I would do, not at all.
But you know, it felt right.
It felt right,
yeah.
And I felt so free as soon as I quit. And I remember that, I think it was like a few days later, I ended up, I booked a trip to Peru, and then I did an ayahuasca retreat. But in the meantime, I also went and I stumbled upon a spiritual life coaching course. And that was something that fit, because I was like, okay, if I can learn how to be a spiritual life coach, then I can help so many people.
Wait, so you went to Peru?
I did.
Oh, so when I was talking shit about people, I've been to Peru? That's so funny. I'm sorry. I just for some reason Peru came to mind. That's so funny though. Okay, anyways, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
That's so funny.
It is funny.
Continue.
At any rate, so I completed that course, and then I ended up. I've always been called to Reiki, and so I ended up taking an energy healing course and did that, and then became a Reiki master, and then the cherry on top was the hypnosis. And so that just kept popping up, and at first I was like, I don't know if I want to be a hypnotist. Like, that sounds kind of spooky. Like, I don't know if that's gonna...
But it is a legit job.
It's so legit. And so I ended up taking that course, and I fell in love with it. And
this was at UConn? Or
I'm sorry, this was at Mind Matters, and it's where I work now.
Okay, so they taught. Okay,
so they taught me, and then I'm a consulting hypnotist for them now. But basically, when it comes to hypnosis, it's what we're doing is we have two minds, or we have three minds. We have the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind. Mm-hmm. So the subconscious mind is your feeling mind, your imaginative mind. It's where all of your patterns, your beliefs, your is this my phone going off? Should I turn it off?
That's fine. No, it's
I'm
not
sorry,
a big deal.
guys.
It's fine. Sorry.
But it's where all of those beliefs live, all of the things that you're doing, all the patterns, the habits, all of that lives in your subconscious mind. And all of the things that are causing you distress in your life or misalignment, there is always going to be a root cause. There's always a root to every single issue you're experiencing. So what I do is I help people bypass the critical faculty of that conscious mind, so it steps back, and we have the subconscious mind at the forefront. So you're in a trance, but it's very single-mindedness. And in this state, your subconscious mind is extremely open and vulnerable and suggestible. So I've been doing a lot of regression with people where they'll come to me with some sort of an issue. Like I had a gentleman who was having sleep issues. He wasn't able to sleep at all. He was like up 48 hours at a time, couldn't sleep. And then we do regression where we go back, we tell the subconscious mind to bring us back to the very root cause. And the subconscious mind, to me, the more I'm experiencing it, it's just the soul. It understands, it knows every single thing that's ever happened in your life, and it can bring you exactly to that X on the spot. And so we ended up going back with him and regressed to a point when he was 5 years old, and it had some sort of trauma with his grandmother, and then we drop him in as the adult man and heal that situation.
Wow.
And
this all makes sense too.
It does make sense.
That's really cool.
It does,
and it's really freaking cool. And I remember with him especially, like the next day I texted him and I was like, hey, just checking in, like seeing how you slept last night. And he was like, Kate, I slept 10 hours straight.
Wow.
And so that's as simple as it is, because in that state, your subconscious mind can't tell between what's reality and what is being suggested.
So you're
you're basically tricking the mind.
You're just opening up that channel for the subconscious to come through the consciousness.
A lot of the problems that are like derivative from our life are from bad experiences
that you don't even consciously remember.
Yeah,
right. They're ingrained.
It makes sense.
Yes.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
It's ingrained.
That's fucking
Now, is that difficult to open that wall of the conscious to get to it? It's not really. I would feel like that some people could be really.
No, I actually I told you on the phone yesterday, I had a nightmare client yesterday, but he was not in a right mindset to really be doing hypnosis to begin with. We shouldn't have a whole long story, but every single other person I've worked with goes into trance very quickly.
Really?
It's just
So how exactly do you like induce that trance?
There's certain steps. We have to do certain depth tests. So there's eye catalepsy, arm catalepsy, and
what is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's just like, so basically you are letting the mind know that the body is going to rest and that I am the one who's directing the suggestions. And so if they're following the suggestions that the eyes are sealed shut, you can open your eyes at any time, but right now you're just enjoying how heavy those eyes are. Gotcha. They're understanding that they are going into a trance, and then you do the same thing with the arms, and then there's more steps to do it, but typically an induction, I mean, you can do an instant induction, rapid induction. I mean, the instant inductions are like 30 seconds and you're deep in trance.
Really? That's so cool.
It's really fun.
It's kind of like meditation, right? Where it's kind of like when you meditate.
It's a similar brain state. Like, I think in hypnosis, you've really got those theta waves. I think in meditation, it might be more of alpha. But it's just a different, it's like an altered consciousness where you are still very much aware. You can open your eyes at any point in time. That's a big misconception, is people think that I'm controlling them.
I was just about to touch on that with like the eyes. I feel like when your eyes open and you can see what's going on, would that affect it? You said it doesn't?
Oh, no. You can be deep in hypnosis and have your eyes open.
It probably comes to like a matter of acceptance. Like, you've accepted this channel of your subconscious kind of letting itself go.
All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So I am just there as a guide, but some people will come up to me and be like, you can't hypnotize me, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, you're fucking right. I can't. Not with that attitude. No way.
So is, in a sense, going off what Connor said, that's a good point that you brought up, Connor, was like, so meditation, can people bring themselves into a state of essentially hypnosis?
I mean, you're in a trance.
You're just like you're just the
I'm their guide.
Okay.
I explain it. It's like a guided daydream.
Okay.
Right?
You just go into a trance, like a daydream. That does make sense. You've just been like lost.
End of the day, that's the thing that I love to stress the most to my clients, is that you are going in and out of hypnosis constantly throughout every single day of your life. You are passing in and out of a hypnotic state constantly.
That's true. Yeah, probably like when you're driving down the highway.
That's highway hypnosis.
I was just going to think of that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Like, okay, like when I'm thinking of the highway, like you're not thinking of always just driving 24/7.
Exactly.
You drift off.
When you're reading a book, you're watching a movie, and you have an emotional response, you are completely hypnotized.
That's a good. This is crazy. Yeah, that's actually.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah, no, that really is too.
It's really fun work though, and just to see these clients have their own, they just leave so empowered knowing that they're the ones who've done this work. Mm-hmm. It's their own mind that's doing it.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
That's got to be both like really exhausting and satisfying though at the end of the day.
It's not even exhausting. I think it's because when I'm facilitating, I go into a trance as well.
Okay.
So it's like this subconscious feedback loop where I'm getting subconscious information from the client.
Yeah, you're just feeding off each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, you start pulling bits and bits and stuff like that. That's got to be extremely rewarding though.
I love it. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
now, did you think, would you like think about this in high school? Would this even cross your mind, like doing this type of thing?
No fucking way. Are you kidding me? I said that to my mom.
Now, when you were like in high school, just regress back to when you're in high school. What did you think you were going to be doing like outside of high school, like afterwards?
I didn't fucking know.
It was just really.
I did not know.
See, that's the thing. Would you expect that out of her, knowing her? Like, we didn't really know her. You figured she'd have her head on her shoulders, so she had no idea what she was going to do. Like,
I feel like you can't really. It's not realistic to expect that out of anybody. You can never know. You know, like
for me at least, I got that perception. Like, okay, she's going to UConn.
Right.
See, I kind of kicked that mentality.
I kind of was expecting that of myself too. Like, hey, you're supposed to have this shit figured out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
nope. I try not to I try not to like have those kind of like expectations on people.
Yeah.
Because it's like you never know what people are going through.
Right. I just feel like if I had to assume, I'd be like, okay, Caitlin's got
I think that's
got a
a
head
right
on her shoulder.
assumption.
She sees.
I mean,
yeah.
based on
Yeah.
assumption, like I would say
Yeah.
she has a good head on her shoulder. Of course, she's
No.
gonna like, do something.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
she's gonna have like a one set path and probably know it. But dude, honestly, having that one set path that you just feel, it's like part of being alive is failing, man. Like
Oh, yeah.
failure
Without
is
doubt.
failure is like paramount to like who you are. That's
Yeah.
just like you don't do you like really know who you are if you've never failed at anything?
No.
If you've just always
No.
followed one path.
Of course not,
And you were just perfect at something from a young age. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you're perfect at something from like a young age, and then you just follow that and never drive off that path of like,
No.
well, what if I tried this? Because
Well,
that's how
and
you.
that-
Like,
Well, Sully's like
Yeah.
that. Sully's perfect. Man. He just sits
he
there.
never talks. But
Well, and failure
Oh,
to
yeah,
me,
it's true. That's true.
failure to me is also all about perspective. Like I
Yeah,
would say
absolutely.
that in my life, I don't view anything as a failure. I view everything as a learning experience.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
when something doesn't go my way, I stop and I'm like, all right, what was the lesson that I need to learn here? What growth experience can I like derive from this, and how can I integrate it back into my system so that this doesn't happen again, so that I can continue to evolve.
I feel like I don't know if maybe you could agree with me on this, and not being a male, it's like we have that pressure, so it's like, oh, I failed, like
I
you put that like
see.
pressure
See,
on
that's
yourself,
so
you know what I mean? I
interesting.
don't know if you're like that. Like when you said
Interesting.
failed, so it's like I agree too. Like I see it as
As
like
a failure.
as a failure, but I feel like I'm gonna get back at it. I gotta like now I gotta
honestly, dude, I
accomplish it.
like not to sound like I like failing. I mean, not like I like failing, but I like to push myself.
Growing
I like
from
to-
it?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
to.
Yes.
I don't
That's
like to
the
be
thing, man. I love
stagnant
it
and say
too.
like, oh, I
Yep.
always,
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to
I'm
things like for me, like exercise, things like that, like you can fail next. Like it depends how you define failure.
But if you're
It can be
if
a
you're
very
afraid
broad
if you're
term.
afraid to fail, you're never gonna like better yourself.
Well, and that's going back to what you said earlier in the conversation. I don't remember what exactly you said, but it was something about how, like, and this is my opinion, is that if you can force yourself into the things that make you uncomfortable, that is when you become your most magnetic to just attracting beautiful situations into your
absolutely.
life.
Absolutely.
If that's why at this point in my life, if something is presented to me that scares me or makes me nervous, I immediately say yes
Yeah.
without even hesitating.
Gotta do it.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
then I'll deal with that afterwards. Like, because
And
I
then-
know if
Yeah.
I give it too long to linger, then I'll question it and I won't do
that
it.
snowballs into all these theories of
Yeah.
what could happen and stuff.
And everything that
Yeah.
scares you leads to growth.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah,
but
that's
when
the-
you-
that impulse was like hard for me to learn. I was never really an impulsive person.
It's a-
now I'm like
yeah,
I
coming to
am very
acceptance of it.
impulsive. Even to have you on this interview, we were
Yeah.
Brendan. I asked Brendan like, hey, we should
Yeah.
have Kaitlyn on, and he was like, before he could even like finish talking, like, well, I was like, oh, I texted her, like,
Yeah.
we're ready. Let's do it.
Yeah. I was like trying to rationalize.
Let's do it.
You know, like it is. Yeah, that's the thing. Like that split decision, like that split second when you just say fuck it, just say yes and stuff. That's like a barrier. And then you realize when you experience the situation that you so feared, it's not a big deal.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We just create
Yep.
this fear within ourselves. It's like I got to
Yes.
stay in my comfort zone.
Yes.
Why
Have you ever,
go out
ever
of it?
seen what? It might have been Will Smith. He was talking about when he went like skydiving or something.
Oh my God,
you
I
heard about
love
this?
that.
Yeah, and he was
Yes.
talking about basically that, like
Oh,
the fear only exists
Connor,
until
I
you're.
just heard that and I was like, in
I love that.
tears.
Is this like
I
a
know. I
recent thing?
love that. No,
Oh
this was like
my
maybe
God.
like a year ago or so.
Okay.
And Will Smith was doing.
It's
a
like an
speech on-
inspirational.
Yeah, it was so.
speech,
Gotcha.
but-
Okay.
It kind of relates to like what you were just saying. He's like the fear is only real until it'll
yeah.
consume you up until that point, and it's like
And
when you
then as
just
soon as
do
you
it,
jump-
you
Yeah.
realize that it's just. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you so afraid of?
Well,
what
and
are
that's
you
the
afraid of?
thing. That's the part of our mind that fear. With my hypnotic clients who are experiencing anxiety or fears or phobias, there is such an emphasis on the fact that your fear, your phobia, is only trying to protect you.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a survival kind of
That
thing.
is
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
It is serving
Completely
a very
agreed.
noble purpose. It is
Completely
trying to
agreed.
keep you safe. And if
Right.
you can have that understanding of your anxiety, of your fear, then it kind of softens it a little bit and you can speak to your fear. So like what I do with my clients is I would have them like in the state, you would imagine that fear is like a 3-year-old version of you who is absolutely terrified, scared of the dark. You go plug in their nightlight, tuck it in bed, give
Yeah.
it a kiss on the forehead. I don't need you right now. You go to sleep, and if I
Right.
need you, I'll come wake you up.
Yeah.
And then that
awesome.
completely shifts the energy of the person in front of me. They emerge from that session with a total calmness in their system. So, yeah, that's
Now, do
why
you-
I love fear.
Now, do you think it's a shame that there are people out there who live their whole life without trying to work on that part of themselves? Do you think there are people like that who just live the life where they just stick to the comfort zone as much as they can? It's like, okay, this is what worked for me, and they just stick to that path. Maybe they'll get out of it every now and then, like here, but not as much as they should in order to be a better person or take care of their inner self. Do you think there's people out there who? Well, I think there are, which is a shame, honestly.
Well, so I'll give you my perspective on this, and it's kind of meta. So bear with me, but my whole belief system is around, it's the law of one, that this entire collective of humanity is just one big organism. So
we've talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
So
yeah, we
well,
have.
and that's
I can
so.
I can see it.
For me, when I'm working with someone and I've gotten this really drilled into my head that every person I have the pleasure of meeting is just a mirror of myself. You are a mirror of me. You are a mirror of me. I am learning from you, from your perspective, from your life's journey. So of course there are going to be people who are going through that routine life that doesn't really have much variation in it, because there's a certain balance that that universe, God itself, whatever, needs to experience those facets of itself so that it has a better understanding of itself.
Yeah, it's an energy. Like energy is a thing.
Energy never dies.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
People die.
That's the thing.
Energy is.
There's always like this.
That's a scientific fact. That's not even like to be
Right.
disputed. That's
Regardless, like,
Energy cannot be created nor destroyed,
right.
only
It's a
transferred.
law of fucking physics, man. Yeah. It's definitely true. It's
Newton's third law?
Yeah.
Question mark, Miss
Right.
Spinelli? Sorry if I'm wrong.
It's true. But it's a psychoactive, and regardless of what type of energy, physical energy, it still is there, and it's like a human relation. We all share that in a sense. Like we can, regardless if you might not know a person at all, and then you start talking to them a little bit, and you relate on some level, just as a human.
You see a part of yourself within them.
Yeah. I remember you're bringing me back to college and all my psychology classes and stuff. That's like mind blowing stuff to even like talk about. And
I know, I love it.
Sorry, I just fucking.
What are you doing? Are you drunk, Connor? Go home. Connor's dad, can you come pick Connor up? Thank you.
Sorry, I just knocked my mic a little bit. Oopsies.
And
I went to grab it. I'm not tipsy, by the way.
Okay.
Back jumping into it. Part two of
Part
the
two.
860 show.
860.
We gotta promote this song. You didn't put anything on Facebook yet, right? I don't have anything.
I don't even know people on Facebook, so
that's fine.
Hi there, everybody. You are tuning in to the 860 show with Brendan and Connor.
Jeez.
nice.
Thanks for the introduction.
That was a great intro.
That was good. We were there. Great. Excellent. We were back. I don't even know.
You know what?
I don't
You
know
guys
where
should
we
just
left off.
fuck this whole thing and just do some ASMR. That should be just Connor and Brendan's ASMR show.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what ASMR
Get
is?
the fuck out of
Is this
here.
ad?
Are you kidding me?
Who is this guy?
It's like people like
ASMR. I probably know,
eating
but
into like mics and like sounds and
Like I would be like,
Yeah.
Why
this
would
is what I'd be like.
what is that? But like, why? Why would
It
they do
has
that?
it's I can't remember what it stands for, but you have like a sensory response where
Well, some
like
people
the hairs stand up on the back of your neck.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
like
hate
weird,
people
like,
who eat with their mouth
kinky
open.
shit.
First of all, yeah.
some people and it's not even
Same
not even,
thing.
Yeah, it's not even like sexual. It's like people like some people.
It's just a
they
weird
get, like,
thing. That,
Yeah, some people
know.
get like I don't know what
Is it like a fetish?
Yeah, kind of. I'd be like,
Yeah, it's not
People
it's not a
get, like-
fetish. I wouldn't say.
Are
It's
people
more
just like hearing to it? Like
Yeah.
hearing it?
Yeah, some people
I
just
like. I guess I
have,
like
like, ear
bubble
stimulation.
wrap
oh,
getting
like
popped.
there's fucking
so
weird
weird.
ASMR where it's like me eating a leather bag, and then it's like someone just like.
I've done that before. And it happens.
Hey,
happens to the
who
best of
hasn't?
us.
Who hasn't?
Who hasn't eaten a leather bag before? I've done it some. I've done
I
it
honestly have never heard it. Maybe I live under a rock.
Cops are coming for you. Oh shit! I gotta eat my leather bag real fast. Did you just
ASMR?
eat a leather bag? Open your mouth.
Spit that out. Spit that out right now.
ASMR. How come I've
I
never
can't
heard of
believe
this?
you've never, especially being on Reddit. I feel like I can't believe that hasn't
From
like
a lot of
crossed
it.
into your consciousness yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't heard about it.
I'm on a lot of weird stuff on Reddit, but not that.
What's your favorite subreddits?
That's a really good question. I don't fucking know.
Wait, okay, hold on. I'm curious. What are your beliefs in aliens and
Oh,
extraterrestrials?
they're definitely real.
But I don't think that it's gonna reach us.
That's
Okay.
Maybe I don't
That's a
know.
So if we want to take
I don't
a total
God,
diversion,
we're gonna get like all like.
No, I'm down for it.
Oh, honey,
Don't-
I have-
am down for it.
Okay, all right. Let's hear it.
Sip my.
Wait, for this though, I might need my phone because I have some actual images that I want to share.
Okay.
Let me get the phone.
I gotta look at my subreddits too. Do you mind grabbing my my water up there too, Caitlin? Yes, thank you very much. Subreddits. You're not on Reddit though. You don't use Reddit. You just don't have like your own account and stuff.
I don't really like. I mean, I just browse it sometimes.
I love Reddit. I think it's so
It's
fun.
awesome. So
Okay, this is for
Thank you.
Yep.
what is?
Let me find him.
What am I? Who am I following?
I need to get a dog like yours, Brennan.
Just chilling out.
Yeah, I just need a dog.
Just I that's the thing, man. I need a dog. It took me so long to get my parents on it.
Really?
Yeah, and then I finally
And then you got your babe.
Yeah, little rescue dog. Rescue dog.
Oh, how old was he when you got him?
Half a year.
Oh, so he was a baby.
Oh, he was wicked young.
He was a baby.
Probably I don't know. Big asses is a good one. Good subreddit.
Big,
God. Brendan. Okay, you're cut off. Brennan's too hydrated for this.
Yeah,
You've been
right?
drinking too much water, sir. Please put that down.
It's Pog. That's the
Pog?
best. That's my thing.
What?
Pog.
What's that?
What's that? What does that stand for?
Fat ass white girls.
Why?
Oh,
I love big asses, man.
hey, who doesn't? Who doesn't
That's
like
just-
it?
well, that-
Like a big fat ass.
That's it, man.
Big
like
fat
so.
ass.
Let's see. I don't know. I like honestly the ones that I look at the most are like shower thoughts.
I love shower
or-
thoughts.
Yeah, shower thoughts or like. Mildly infuriating, stuff like
Fuck
that.
those
yeah.
ones. Oh my god,
There's,
when it's
these
like
cool ones,
some
yeah.
sort of architectural fuck up that drives
Yeah.
me crazy. I
Yeah.
can't stop thinking about it.
Exactly. There's so many good ones. I can't put my finger on one. Probably Pog. I'll put it in. Pog.
He's a big pog guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Shout out to my girlfriend.
Oh, word.
I'm sure she likes. She browses that a lot.
I actually
It's a
talked
shared
about
interest.
like putting her on
Would she do
on a
it?
podcast?
Reddit. She actually would.
I would do it too,
On a
as long
podcast?
as my face was
No,
on.
on Reddit. On Reddit.
This is a topic for another day. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's move on. Where were we going with this conversation again? Before the ASMR bullshit.
Aliens.
Yes, that's what it was.
We
I like
were
it.
So you take it from
talking
there.
about aliens.
So what about aliens, Kaitlyn?
Okay, so I don't even know where to start with this except for the fact that I've had
You've had experiences with aliens?
Yes, and consciously I've done this. So
Wow.
I mean, there's a whole backstory to it, but one thing I would love for both of you to look into is Stephen Greer's work. Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer. He has, I think, 3 documentaries that have come out, but his latest documentary is called CE5, and that is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. And this is a legitimate protocol that this guy has been working in the U.S. government for decades. He has briefed every president up until this point about extraterrestrial life and what's going on, and how there is like $9 trillion a year just going missing. That's going to black ops. That's just being. There is extraterrestrial life on this planet, and it's been very well documented. It's just hidden.
Is this the dude?
Stephen Greer? Yep, that's him.
He's-
That's him.
he's-
He's jacked because he's
Shit,
about to.
he's
He'll
jacked.
get fucking murdered because he shares so much information.
Yeah, if you see this comment, it's like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's got that alien fucking.
Oh my god.
He's ready.
This
They're
guy-
giving him some roids.
You guys have got to watch this documentary. It'll change your
You
entire
said he has
world.
like 3 of them or something?
Yeah, but
How'd
the
you hear
latest
about
one. Things just pop into my life at this point, and I just follow
You're just
them.
like deep into YouTube.
Well, you
one
know
of
what?
those
No,
things,
I
like
ended
3
up.
a.m.
The
type
friend
shit?
that I was telling you about, she invited me to go to a ET workshop at COSM in New York.
Okay.
It's the Church of Sacred Mirrors, and when she said it was an ET workshop, I was like, I just don't know if I want to do that. And she was like, no, please, like, I'm so interested, I want to go. And I was like, all right, whatever. And from that point, like, this guy, he's on Ancient Aliens. He was leading a lecture, and he was revealing like legitimate congressional testimony that was the day before 9/11 that Stephen Greer orchestrated, where all of these high-end like government officials, NASA astronauts, were coming and giving their testimony of their experiences with ETs, with these extraterrestrial beings.
Right.
And then 9/11 happened the next day, and then it was just like completely washed over, and no one ever paid attention to it again until now. And so I don't know if you heard in the news in the past few weeks, there was documentation. They finally released some footage of
UFOs?
Of UFOs.
I know about that, but
they
not
got
like this-
washed to the COVID. And
Right.
I just don't
Yeah.
know about the specifics, but I know that they actually like
Yep,
officially
it's out.
released.
But
right?
even that
The CIA even said like there
Oh,
are aliens that
oh,
exist, and people are like, whatever, we don't
every
care.
single
about it."
astronaut, like
Right.
NASA astronauts, are just like, oh, we have life all over the place in space. Like it's crazy that we haven't gotten to the point of full disclosure
Yeah.
yet, but we're moving there. And so, well, just to back up, so more fast forward with the CE5 thing. So Stephen Greer, he developed this protocol, and the close encounters of the fifth kind is human initiated contact. So what that means is basically the protocol looks like you let yourself go into a meditative state, clear your mind, and then the entire protocol is you envision yourself, you kind of like float outside of your body, and you imagine yourself kind of zooming out from exactly where you are. So when I did it, it was my birthday. It was not too long ago. And so I have been like dying to make contact for so long. Like this is like a huge thing that I'm super passionate about.
Okay.
And so I was like, took Louis out. I was taking him out for a walk. It had literally just struck midnight. It was just my birthday. And so I stopped and I did this protocol, and you zoom all the way out from Hartford to Connecticut to the US to like all the way out of Earth, all the way out of our solar system, out of our galaxy, until you cast your consciousness into the middle of the universe.
Okay.
And you're basically setting the intention. You're asking any beings of light, love, of the highest whatever order. If
Were you
it's
completely sober?
completely sober.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
Completely sober.
Right.
And so I did this whole thing. I was like, listen, it's my birthday. Like, this would be the greatest gift. I would love to make contact with my space family. Like, just let me see you. And so I take Louis out for a walk, and I'm like looking up at the sky like a dumbass. I'm like, what am I even supposed to be looking for? Like, what am I going to see? Like, is it going to be a flying saucer? Like, I don't know. And so I'm walking down the street, and I'm standing across. So I'm standing here, like this is the street, and then over there are some street lights. And I'm looking past the street lights, and you know how when you stare at a light for too long, you get like spots in your vision?
Yeah.
So I'm like standing there, I'm like, is this going to obstruct my view? Am I not going to be able to see something? And so I'm like staring past the street light, and I notice there's a spot in my vision, and so I'm like, oh, fuck me. I just like fucked my vision up. And so I look over here, and all of a sudden this little dot, just as my eyes are already over here, the little dot goes,
oh boy,
and moves into where I'm looking.
Wow.
And I'm staring at it,
and
I'm like,
you made contact?
what is that? And it's like this white shape like this, like a bean. Looks like that in the sky, and it's almost like holographic. And I'm standing there looking at it, and I was like, that must have just been my eyes playing tricks on me. And then all of a sudden it goes, shoo, 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 just in a perfect zigzag. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Right.
And so I'm standing there, and my dog's fucking like trying to yank me. I was like, stop it. Let me see what happens.
Serious shit.
I'm making contact. And this little like thing starts going in a complete 180 around me. And I am standing in the street turning. I have tears like rolling down my face.
Wow.
And I watch it go all the way around, and it's just like hovering. And I was like, oh my fucking God. It works. Like it blew my goddamn mind open. And so after that experience, the next night I was like, I'm going to go out and do it again. And I went out into a field, and I can like, I'm very open mind. Like I have a very open channel. So I hear, I'm like a psychic. I do medium shit like that.
Right.
So I heard them say like, go outside. And so I go outside, I go to this field by Yukon Law, and I'm out there just wandering around. It's like 11 at night. I must look like a crazy person. And I'm out there for like a half an hour. I'm getting cold. And I was like, you know what, guys, I'm going inside. Like, thank you for that experience last night. That was beautiful. I'm super grateful, whatever. And I'm walking back into my house, and I like happen to glance up. And when I glance up, the way that I'll describe it is it looked like there were two, like, it sounds so crazy.
No, say it.
Two portals opened up, and I saw this bright green craft go just straight through both of these portals, like just like a space like this, like it was jumping through dimensions.
So you pretty much have like kind of given up, and you're like, all right, I'm going back inside.
Oh yeah, so I was heading inside, and I saw that, and it was so bright and so visible and so unbelievable. My hand went straight to my heart, and I was like, oh my God, okay, they're here. Like, they're listening to me. Like, okay, holy shit. So I go inside, I turn all the lights off in my kitchen, and I set up my chair in front of my window that's overlooking the sky, and I'm setting the intention. I'm like, please let me get something that I can get on film. Please let me get something on video, because no one is going to believe me. I'm like, I sound like a crazy bitch. I'm aware of that. So I'm like sitting there, I have my phone videotaping. And that's the thing, like Stephen Greer, he has all of these different phenomena that you can see when you set this intention to do this work. And so I'm sitting there and I'm looking out into the sky and I'm just like, please let me get something on video. Please let me get something. And all of a sudden, in the distance, there is this bright white flash. And I have the video of it. I was like, oh my God, please.
You just can't disclose that video.
Well, I can show you afterwards. You won't be able to see it here, but... And then I'm like, please, another one. And then another bright flash. And I was like, please, one more. And then there was one more bright flash. And I was like, oh my God, I better have gotten that on fucking video. I'm like, thank you. Yeah. And so I went back that night and I watched the video over, and they were messing with the timing of the video. So it would like, the video would start and it would immediately jump to 18 seconds. And I showed my brother, like, I'll show you, it probably will do it again. Like, it's so fucking crazy. But you will see the bright flash. And so I paused it and I took a screenshot. So I'll show you, like, this is the image that I have right here. So so that's like the original screen grab. Well, that's zoomed in from the video. So did it go? No, that's it right here. That little tiny dot. Yep. So what I did is I just kept zooming in. And so you can zoom in, and that's what you see when it zooms in a little bit more. Yep. Okay. You keep zooming in, and it is a perfect energy matrix. It's a perfect matrix of energy. And this is one of the...
You call that in the sky?
Yeah. So this is zoomed in. Yeah. This is a matrix of energy, basically just showing the... it's like a rift in the dimensions of time and space. Right. And so I got that image, and I can't explain it.
Well, it was a square, so we just see in three-dimensional. We see a three-dimensional world. So
you can see. I can see like. I mean, I don't know, but I can see like outline in between. So it doesn't look like a planet or a star.
No, it's a perfect grid.
Oh, that's cool.
Perfect grid.
That's really
the
interesting.
fourth dimension. That's
so
crazy.
that was an incredible experience. So I want you guys to look into that documentary because it'll blow your minds. It'll blow your minds. And I'm telling you, in the next like 6 to 18 months, you're going to see some crazy acts of disclosure going on in this country and in the world. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, mark my words.
This is some
that's what I love about like space, and I feel like if we put the amount of effort and like money into funding, like, you know, just what we would want to know about space that we did into like our military and just shit that, like, I don't know, man.
I don't know if we're ready for that. Do you think we're ready for that?
But you guys, there is so much going on that we are not aware of as citizens.
I agree.
The more I dive into it, there is some really, really crazy stuff going on that these are top government officials who are risking their lives to share this information, and it is shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Do you think that is going to be happening? You said within how many months?
I would say 6 to 18.
6 to 18 months? Where do you see it after that, though? Like,
there's
how is this going to affect
I think that what the future is going to be is we're going to see spaceships in the sky all the time. We're going to have relationships with our interstellar family, and we're going to be... So my fear with this, because I know it's happening, I know we're getting there, is that our current administration is going to try to like demonize these beings of peace. Like, there have been many times where they have caused nuclear weapons and nuclear warheads to become completely inert because they see the human race trying to destroy itself. So the fear that I have is that the current administration is going to try to make these beings of light and who are trying to just help humanity look like villains, that they're trying to
We're very good
over.
At that.
Exactly.
We're very good at that. We are very... I think we've talked about this a bunch too. It's like, maybe it wasn't with you. Maybe it was with one of my other friends. We said like humans are very great at killing the beauty in the world.
Yes.
Killing anything that's like anything that can be beautiful. We are good at just saying like, this is how it, like, I want this gone. I want this is the way.
Yeah, but that's that fear-based mentality that's starting to fall apart. And I think we're going to start seeing more and more of this division that we're experiencing is going to get stronger and stronger, but these opposing forces at some point will have to break down and rebuild again, which is kind of what we're seeing right now with, all of the social injustice and with COVID. Like, we're moving into this age of Aquarius where the patriarchy is falling. All of these old beliefs and ways of being with industrialization and the coal industry is all falling away. So the fear-based mentality, at some point will begin to die out.
Do you follow astrology at all?
Yeah.
Have you looked? You probably have seen this, but this year, like
Oh
this
my
year was like
God.
destined to happen in terms
Oh,
of astrology.
God, yeah.
You probably wouldn't look at this, but it's like
I've heard about it.
okay,
I
yeah,
know.
so-
I know.
Oh,
I
it's
actually know quite a bit
incredible.
about astrology.
Right.
I know quite
Yeah.
a bit.
It's
about it.
incredible.
Okay, yeah, like I'm not huge. It interests me, but I'm not like a huge geek on
Yeah.
it. But like I've read some like forums and stuff and read it obviously and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
and that it was like almost like destined, just the alignment of everything.
Yeah.
That this is like it's just like it was like destined to happen this year.
It
This like. And you know what? It just feels like it's it was not due in a sense, but it just feels it makes sense in a way, even though everything that happening is pretty negative. It just makes sense, I guess. That it's just like this whole year just seems absurd.
It is
And
absolutely
just like,
absurd.
You know what I mean?
And,
It's such a weird sensation. It has like a feeling to it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know.
well, and that's the whole thing is that I have this one book that I've been reading, and it's channeled information from a group of extra dimensionals or extraterrestrials called the Pleiadians, and they were saying, and this was written back in '92, but these things that we're experiencing right now, these massive shock waves that are rolling through the global community are happening for a reason. And you will see it, like I always refer back to when Kobe passed. Kobe's death was something that
oh my God, that's exactly what I was going to say.
The thing with Kobe's death was that it was a pathway into the hearts of men all across the country, all across the world, to understand that it is okay to cry. The fact that you saw Shaquille O'Neal on national television crying at the loss of his friend softened the hearts of men everywhere.
I remember,
and that's what we need to have.
I remember that moment. I was sitting here. I got the news like first, like right away on, because I was like, because actually probably I think through Reddit before it came on the local stations and stuff.
Yep.
And I just my group chat with all my
You're
coworkers
just like,
and
this
stuff,
didn't
all my
really
friends
happen.
and stuff who I play like fantasy basketball with them
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I sent it to them. I'm like, holy shit! Like, look at this. And then it's like it was like,
everywhere.
is this real? It was all those
it was-
responses, and that just I feel like that just set the tone for the whole year.
Yeah.
It was
it
ridiculous.
totally
like
did.
Kobe Bryant's death.
Yeah.
I think another thing
some
that
reason.
came from that too is, I mean, maybe this is just me, but I see it as like, like no one's perfect. Like no one's invincible either.
Yeah.
Like no one's.
there's the
people
mortality.
People think that like,
Yes.
oh, this man right here, fucking amazing basketball player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's fucking untouchable.
It's like Brad
wakes
Pitt
you
dying.
the
You know.
fuck up.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, oh
It's a
shit,
good
this
wake
can be
up.
ripped away from me
Right.
at any second.
doesn't matter how much
Exactly.
money you have. Like you can.
Hey,
life is
yeah.
fucking fragile, man.
Yeah.
Life is like that's like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have a lot of respect for life. Bugs and everything, man. Like I just don't.
Me
I hate
too.
killing
Oh,
bugs.
I love that you say that. I'm the same way. People
like-
always make fun of me. I'm like,
Bugs?
why are you stepping on the bugs?
I've always had a lot of respect for human life, and I think that's like because I think, in its like essence, like that's man, that's like what is important.
Yeah.
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 Like the things like I don't know. I said this to one of my friends. Just like why if something's like an inconvenience to you, like why do you just feel the need to like step on a bug or something? It's like do you realize like the gravity of like what you're doing? It's like
The butterfly effect.
No, but like not even to get like that cliche
Right,
about it.
right,
It's
right.
just like
Right,
you
no,
like,
no,
really
I
know
understand.
like the gravity of it. It's like
Yeah.
you're killing life. Do you know
Yes.
do you know how insane life really is? Like
Let's
think
go
about
back
it.
to the whole energy thing. Like that
Like,
energy is
the
going to
things
move
that we
somewhere
see
else.
that's just like we can't
Yeah.
we just
We
see like
talk
oh that's
about,
just like a bug that's just like
Talk about karmic debt a little bit. Go into
Karmic
that.
debt.
Yeah. You ever heard of that karmic debt?
Yeah.
You've heard
Oh,
about
yeah.
Yeah.
Go into
yeah.
that, Connor.
karmic. You
Explain
want me to
that.
talk about like
We'll just give a summary of it.
okay I don't know.
Explain it.
I kind of have this
Like
like
your
this, like,
your
theory.
perception of it. Yeah.
I kind of have this theory that the things we do, like any like positive negative things that we do, more so in like a negative sense that if you do negative things you always repay. I think that people pay their negative debts with the time in their life, so like if you do bad things, you're not punished by like you're gonna go to hell or you're gonna go to wherever. You're punished with time in your life. Like negative energy that you put into the world, you're punished with negative thoughts that you think. Oh,
Interesting.
I got a fight with my coworker. And you spend that time to think like, oh, like fuck him, like he's this that. And it could ruin your day. It could ruin your next day. It could based on like the gravity of like what you do. It can kind of like ruin. It can kind of just like ruin like your mindset. And I think that's kind of like the punishment you pay when you I don't know. This is kind of like a theory that I have. This is kind of like something that I've kind of created.
When you said karma's out originally, I had my perception is when I go to think of karma, I live by karma too. Like
I agree with karma, but I feel like karma is in. People have this idea that karma is like, oh, like, well, when you die, like you're gonna go to hell, or something something very dramatic. I think karma in its like essence can be just. You can just lose, just good times of your life just spent by just being negative. You just put negative energy in.
The energy. It's
just like when you put the negative energy in, the karma in itself is that negative energy you put in because you just lost time out of your life that you're not being productive.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I do.
And have you like my belief with karma is there's karma and there's dharma, and dharma is the path of your life, like this. So what do you believe in past lives? Is that something you believe in, reincarnation?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
definitely believe in it.
So for me, karma is okay. So we've got our dharma, and our dharma is our purpose. It's our soul's path, our soul's authentic path, that if you are listening to your soul, if you are living in alignment, that you will constantly be living your dharma. You are constantly on your path, and that's what I'm striving to do, is to live my dharma. When you begin to stray from that dharma, stray from that path, stray from that course, karma comes in to slap you back into dharma.
Yes.
So that's why when you do something quote unquote bad,
right,
then that's karma will come back to whack you back into
it's
alignment.
realigning. Yes,
realigning
you.
It's waking you up to the fact that you are doing something that is not authentic to your true soul. Because
And
souls
like,
are
do
just
you think
love.
people ignore that a lot? People just say like, based on like the things that happen in their life, they that slap back into place. You think people just ignore that?
Oh, 1000%. But those slaps will get harder and harder and harder until you're knocked on your fucking ass on the floor and you're looking up being like, oh shit, I got to restructure my entire life. Like going back to what I said earlier, like my philosophy is that we are just one and that we are all just aspects of the same self.
Yeah.
So when you're cheating on your significant other, you are cheating yourself, and you are just you're causing harm to a part of yourself, and that's why your karma's coming back around, because you're just hurting yourself. And that's what I keep with everything that's going on in the world right now, like with the social injustice and the cops brutalizing our peaceful protesters. I see so many people just meeting them with absolute anger and just disgust and disdain for these cops, and they're just like, fuck the cops, like blah blah blah. I have to step back and just feel absolute compassion that these beings are in a space where their ignorance is leading them to brutalize their brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Like what happened to them?
There's an underlying issue. There always
to allow this lack of humanity to be prominent in their lives. So instead of having the anger towards this group of people, I just can't help but feel compassion that this toxic masculinity has completely just brainwashed them into thinking this is acceptable behavior. That's sad to me that's their reality.
Yeah, people live through that, man. It's pretty sad. That's a good way to put it. It is very sad. Does that mean?
Yeah, I think that's you.
Oh, great.
Can you please watch a documentary?
Of course, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm
please
going to.
watch it and tell me what you think.
Probably
I'll certainly watch it.
definitely.
I really want you guys to watch it.
Yeah. Oh,
if anybody
in all
tells me,
seriousness, yes.
that's one thing.
Yes.
If anybody tells me to watch something and it's like slightly interesting to me,
Yes.
Okay, I'm
like it.
telling you,
Watch it
you
tonight.
will love it.
Well, and like extraterrestrial life always interests me because like I was like saying before about space. I think like space is just it's something that's I don't know. It's just really interesting to me.
Mind blowing.
It's something
just
that that we don't
small.
really.
Yeah.
It's exactly. It's like something that we just kind of like. Oh, it's space, whatever. But like, do you know?
I
how,
know,
like,
right? Like we're just
but
such
it's-
assholes
right.
that we're like,
Yeah.
fuck space.
Right.
It's
What
like,
you worried about being
what,
on
like,
Earth?
what do we deem important? It's like, like the shit that we do here, dude.
Yes.
You know what's like? Space is just fucking unbelievable. You can't
Well,
even.
you know what?
It's
You can't
so
even perceive
unbelievable.
it.
It's it's frustrating.
You
'cause-
can't even perceive it.
Exactly. That's
you
why I
can't-
think we don't.
Exactly.
That's why it's so incredible
Yes.
to think about.
And it's the fact that it's unperceivable to a lot of people is, I think, the fact why people don't give a shit about it, because it's like, what's the point of rationalizing about that if I don't know anything about it? It doesn't make sense to me. What's the point of rationalizing about that? And there's a certain select few people who actually strive. It's the human curiosity thing
Absolutely.
of getting out and
evolution.
wanting to.
We want to better ourselves.
Yeah.
And by bettering ourselves, we spend so much money just making our life worse. We spend so much money making everything worse. Like, why don't we
Yeah.
spend money seeing?
Yeah, and I just think that it's just so egotistical to have the belief that we're alone in the universe.
absolutely.
Like that we're the center of the universe, that humanity is all there is and ever will be.
We're the worst thing that
The
happens. to this
history of this planet there have been races of beings on this planet for as long for the entire history of this planet. I mean, look at the Atlantis, look at the Lemurians, look at the the Lyrians I think are from another planet, but I mean there is so much more history to this planet
That's one thing, man. Atlantis.
Do you guys believe in like Scientology or anything, or?
I'm not really familiar with Scientology.
I don't know too much about it.
Let me ask you another question. Are you guys like religious, or are you guys?
No, not religious.
Yeah, I'm not religious.
Spiritual.
Very spiritual.
I believe.
I'd say I'm like agnostic, but I'm very like spiritual.
Yeah, I believe in energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, it's undisputable. It's
living. It's tough to explain.
Right.
Yeah,
you can't.
you
can't dispute that energy is not alive and doesn't die. It is. Like energy is it's been fucking proven. To be
Agreed.
I don't know. I don't want to like get into like religion and all that, because like,
go for it. Why not?
I don't know.
Why not?
Religion's like a sensitive subject, because it's just like everybody takes what they want from religion, and I respect that. Like I respect that people take what they want from religion, and like my dad, very religious, and I was raised Roman Catholic, and
I was in the same boat. Like I was forced to go to communion. I was forced to get confirmed.
Did you like CRE and all that?
Fuck CRE.
Yep.
Fuck CRE.
I remember CRE, and I don't know, just being raised Roman Catholic. I didn't read like the full Bible or anything, but like I've read a lot of like just verses from the Bible. I've always wanted to like, I don't know. There was like a point in my life where I was like curious about what when I was like a little bit more religious, like what do I actually believe in? Like what is this thing that I believe? Like I wanted to know more about it, so like I would look into it, and the more I've read a lot more of parts of the Bible, I just realized that it's just I don't know. It just feels like it's kind of like brainwashing you,
Essentially,
like I've said before, it plays to, not to like bash religion or anything. I see, like I'll talk about my dad and his religious beliefs after this a little bit, but for me, like religion, it feels like it plays to your like insecurities, like what are we insecure about?
It's insecurities, unanswerable things. Like
I mean, like humans' biggest insecurity is like what happens like when you die, like what we don't know.
Let me just say this, and I think this kind of like venture into why your dad is religious now, even though he wasn't,
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, like when religion was like developed, 6,000 years ago, let's say,
as an organization. Let's just note
absolutely.
that.
Yes, that's
there
a good
is. Yes. I'm just going to say that there is ancient wisdom and
Yes.
spirituality underlying every single religion on this planet.
Yep.
Yeah,
So let's just focus on the fact that the Catholic Church is a church. It is an organization.
Yeah.
It is here to push its own beliefs on people.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
it is, in my opinion, this organization is fostering a sense of separation from it's fostering this idea that you need to seek external validation from some source other than yourself, instead of understanding the fact that you are yourself are God. You are a part of this big
like that you're in control.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I think that was unfathomable to people back in the day when we built these organizations. I think they did that for a sense of like relief, in a sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like they built these constructs, these organizations for say, like, let's say Greeks, like the Greeks, for example, right? Building all these gods and stuff, like these theologies. Like I love theologies. I love reading about.
Super interesting.
Exactly. And I think it's the human perception. I think so. You're saying that underlying wisdom and stuff like that. I think that a lot of religions are just the human lens and the human perceptions.
Exactly, they're just filters of it.
Exactly, and we're just trying to make sense of it.
A biased filter.
Right, exactly. Like the Bible, for like you said, you read part. I like reading parts of the Bible too.
Right.
And just like the rationality behind those stories.
Bible verse,
But just even the Bible itself,
Right.
like you have to think that this was written by a patriarchal organization where they were able to pick and choose certain information. This has been translated over and over and over again from different languages. The original wisdom in some senses can be lost or can be misinterpreted. That's my problem. Like that's why when they're using the Bible to argue certain like racial injustices or gay things, I'm like, you're not understanding the point. You really think that Jesus Christ, Yeshua ben Joseph, was someone who was like, hey, fuck gay people. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
What would Jesus do? Jesus would get on his knees and kiss your feet and say, I love you, brother. Like you do you.
And that's the that's the type of God that I would want to.
Of course,
worship.
not a,
like you said
not a
before.
God to
I
fear.
like that you said, because I've always said this, that we are God.
Yes, we
We're
are.
God.
We are
when,
aspects
when
of
we
God.
think that we are not God, we're like,
You're out of control.
You are out.
here's
here's
an example. It's like, if like one of your family members is like dying, and you're praying to God, or like and then people, nurses or somebody, like doctors, they save who you love, and you're like, oh, like praise be to God. It's like, no, like how about you to thank for the people that that we
are playing those aspects of God that fulfilled your
exactly.
prayer.
Right. Like those people that fucking like stayed up all day to try and save your, or like saved your fucking like family. It's like, how about you think those, because they're more God than we.
Yeah. They don't look at it at face value.
They're real.
They don't look at the nurse and the surgeon.
That's real. Maybe there is a God that put those people on earth. But as far as we know, like those people are God.
That's one of the most difficult jobs, being a surgeon. Imagine that.
Absolutely.
All that.
Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not.
Being the psychology major, interesting stuff. A lot of psychopaths make great doctors.
Oh,
and
because
surgeons.
they're able to just completely remove themselves from what they're doing.
Mentally, like psychopaths are just born the way they
I
are.
was just reading something about that.
I have a book on it and stuff and everything like this. I remember, this. One of my professors at Eastern said a lot of psychopaths make great surgeons, great CEOs, because they don't have that moral conscience. They don't have that conscience. Just because imagine being a surgeon with like a great, steady moral compass and conscience, and dealing with the weight of having not being able to save a 3-year-old child. Stuff like that every single fucking night and stuff like that. It's burdening. So psychopaths can. That's something I always think. They can retract themselves from that mindset, and they look at the job like, okay, I will be able to save this person if I do X, Y, and Z, and if I can't, they're gonna die. They just look at it black and white and
exactly.
That's a very interesting thing.
It is interesting.
But and then you got all these, and when people think, when I say psychopath, they think of a guy with a machete, running around, and not in the sense there are those. Yeah, but it's
just like you said. It's just lack of like empathy.
Yeah,
or it's like it's just
there's a part of your brain that's missing that. And you know what?
That's why I could never do it, because like you just said, if there was like a 3-year-old kid,
right?
It would keep me up at night to say, well, maybe if I was better at my job,
if I did this, earlier or something like that,
also just goes to the point of why there's such a high suicide rate with our doctors, because there are obviously that's that subsection of psychopaths who can be in those positions, but there's also our feeling comrades who are carrying the weight of the lives that they weren't able to save, or that were not fully healed or whatever it may be. And that's why there's such a high rate of suicide. And it's like, where do the doctors go for help? Because when you are so highly educated and you are so intelligent,
you're almost like your own worst enemy.
Because therapy will not, I mean, this isn't in every case, obviously, but if you have such a high level of intelligence, you're able to see straight through therapy. Yes. You're able to see straight through all the tactics. You're able to just see straight through it, think around it, talk around it. You can outsmart it. So it's like, then where do you go? You go to a fucking hypnotist. That's who you go to, and you get down
Sponsoring
deep.
Go to her.
Hi.
Yes, exactly.
Hi.
Can
Soul
you just,
Magic.
Take a second. Yeah, just advertise yourself. Just promote yourself for a second. So again, Soul Magic. Yeah, your website and everything.
Yep. You can go to soul-magic.com.
Okay. We'll put that in the description on the video.
Yeah, and then I also am a consulting hypnotist for Mind Matters, and they've got offices in Brantford, Guilford, West Hartford, and Brooklyn, I believe. So. Either one of those at Soul Magic, I do the energy healing, the Reiki, I do the manifestation, human design. I do astrology, natal birth charts, and readings like that. But the hypnosis for the most part is going to be done through Mind Matters. So
check it out, guys.
That's where you'll find me.
Now you think, going back, so you think that can truly be effective with surgeons and stuff like that if they let themselves,
and that's exactly
it's a matter of like, because you can't really outsmart it, because you, like you said, you're the guide more so, and if you want to outsmart, you're essentially trying to outsmart yourself, right? If they wanted to, right? There's no, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like, I don't see it as possible. right? So that's why
It's
that's why
just-
hypnosis would work.
You have to allow it. You have to really want
Right.
it to happen. And
It's a
you have
matter
to
of like
fully
acceptance, right?
commit to just letting yourself go entirely and feeling safe and understanding that you are doing this for yourself, not for anybody else, but for you, so that you can be a better version of yourself.
Do you think that like surgeons like that thrill sometimes? Did you say that?
Of what?
Of like their, I shouldn't say that actually.
Yeah, you're gonna get all the surgeons really pissed at you.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't say that. Like,
Your-
so like, well, no, like,
Your audience is primarily surgeons, and they're just like on the phone calling in now.
yeah, really.
What are you making fun of surgeons, Bernie?
No, like I'm trying to think. Like, do you think surgeons live for that, like, kind of like
Oh, I think in some sense you have to.
that thrill, kind of?
Why would you do it otherwise?
Right.
I mean, obviously helping people and helping to help people get their bodies back, but
I would say a lot of majority of people.
I feel like you
would
have
do
to.
it.
You gotta be and have that sort of adrenaline rush in you at some point. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I'd
What do you
say-
think? What do you think the main motive is behind
Saving people.
Majority.
I would
of
say
surgeons?
a lot of people want to
Just
want to
saving
make the world
people?
better. I mean,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people. I mean, see, like that's how I would see it, right? The only way I could see myself doing it is if I could say, listen, like, I'm confident in my work, and like, if I can save someone or I can't, it's like, you know, that's the way it is, and it's like, if I can't, like, I did everything I could, and you know, I would try to be able to sleep well that night and say, listen, like, I'm very good at what I do. I think I would say there has to be like a very good. You have to have a lot of confidence. I mean, or you could just be a psychopath, but
Yeah,
you have to have a lot of
exactly.
confidence
Right,
to
right.
be able to be a sane individual and do that job to say, hey, like, I did everything I could, and no one else could have done that better. You have to think that, or else what? Like, it would eat you alive.
I
to say,
just can't imagine having that reality. I just couldn't do it.
oh hell no.
So
Hell no.
respect
Right.
to all of the surgeons who save our
Yes,
people.
shout out to all
We
the
do
surgeons.
appreciate you. And if you're a psychopath, then hey, that's fine too.
I would imagine you guys
fine
seen
too.
the movie American Psycho, obviously.
No.
No, American
Wait,
Psycho,
American
Christian Bale.
Psycho. No, I haven't.
don't
You
think I
haven't?
have.
Are you serious?
I don't think I have.
It's a great movie.
Isn't it kind of scary?
It's very demented.
What's your guys' favorite? Like, do you guys like movies or not?
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite?
Fight Club.
Fight Club's a
Fight Club
great
is
one.
fucking fantastic.
Fight Club, hands
Fight Club's
down.
great
fantastic.
It's not even like a
movie.
movie. It's like a following. It's like
Fight
cult.
Club's fantastic.
You know
It's like a
Ed
it
Norton's
start-
amazing.
Started a movement. Yeah.
I
That book.
think
The book is even better. I read the book and it's like it's fucking.
I
amazing.
am a
love reading.
huge fucking Tarantino fan.
Oh,
Okay.
He's
Fucking
such an
love
interesting
him.
person.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
So
He is
interesting.
insane. But
So,
his dude,
favorite Tarantino film.
favorite Tarantino film?
Yeah.
Pulp
Oh,
Fiction. Pulp Fiction, 100%.
Okay.
No.
Inglorious Bastards number
good
2.
choice.
Honestly, Django Unchained.
Oh, yes. So like
I think
Django
All those
Unchained.
two
Django
are
is
great, yeah.
phenomenal.
See, like, I don't know. I love Pulp Fiction, but like, yeah, Django Unchained, fucking incredible.
Just-
Django Unchained, and have you ever seen Inglorious Bastards?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. They're like they're on par, honestly.
yeah.
Because
So
like
good.
that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
like about those two movies. It kind of takes like
He's got one left, right? He's got one more film he's gonna make.
I think so. Because
Yeah.
he just what was
Oh,
the
it's
last
like
one?
scheduled? He, like,
Hateful
said,
Oh
Eight,
yeah,
right?
he
This is
like
the
said
last
he's
one?
only gonna be making X.
Oh no,
number
his
of
last one
films.
was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Fucking awesome.
That
movie,
one
too.
was
I've yet to see that.
That
You
like
one
it? I gotta
was.
see
I
I
liked
saw
it.
that
It
one.
was fucking awesome. I liked
I just was so confused through like the first 3 quarters of it, and then the last
Yeah.
15-20 minutes, I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" Like
Yeah.
here we go. There's the
Tarantino
payoff.
films you gotta watch more than once.
Yeah,
to, like,
I
fully
just
grasp
so me and
them,
me and my
yeah.
brother fucking like we are religious. I went and saw I haven't hung out with my brother in like forever. And, we just like we grew up really close, but like I don't know, I think it's just like life. Kinda,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
that
it just happens. And,
Right,
like,
right.
the first person like. The first thing that happens, like right when that movie came out, I was just like, dude, like we're fucking seeing this together.
Yes.
And it was just like,
This
it
is
was
Once
awesome.
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, we went
Aw.
out and we saw it. It was just fucking awesome. It was
So
like,
cute.
The
Yeah.
two of my favorite actors, Brad Pitt and DiCaprio.
Okay.
DiCaprio's
they're just
amazing.
So attractive.
DiCaprio.
So
God, yeah.
attractive.
No
I
homo,
mean, you
of
can't
course.
look at those people and just be like,
Brad Pitt's my favorite
Yeah.
actor, and I think Christian Bale is
I
extremely
would say
underrated.
DiCaprio, dude. You've seen the skull scene in
"Oh my fucking god!"
Dude, he actually
Oh
split
my
his hand
God.
open.
Did he
And
really?
Yeah, it was actual blood.
when
Like,
he
fucking
smokes
hit-
that LSD cigarette, like they really did a great job of like
God, now I
portraying
gotta
what
see
an
this,
acid trip is
actually.
like.
Yeah.
I was
Oh
like,
yes, from Once Upon a Time.
I
in
thought that
Hollywood.
was it was pretty accurate.
yeah.
I was like,
I gotta watch
alright.
this now.
Oh,
Dude, you
it's-
have to
it's
watch
good.
it, man. You have to.
Yeah.
watch it.
Dude, those are
It's
two of my
awesome.
favorite actors, man. I love them.
They're so
They're
good.
great.
They're so
DiCaprio
good.
is without a doubt. So honestly, DiCaprio and Tom Hanks are like, but DiCaprio's.
Well,
like,
I was gonna say Forrest Gump is probably
Yeah,
my like
Forrest Gump-
overall favorite.
Forrest
movie.
Gump is such an
It's
underrated
very
movie. I mean,
respectable.
it's a very popular movie, but it's
Yeah.
like it's so good.
It's so
Such
good.
good acting. Like
What DiCaprio, he makes He's a very universal actor, so
Oh
he
my
can
God,
play
he's
a lot of roles. He can
incredible.
played a great
Yeah,
bad guy
he
in
really
Django.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
Yo,
love-
watch
I gotta watch
Once Upon a Time in
Django.
Hollywood.
Okay.
Him in the
Yeah.
westerns. Fucking, he's so good, dude. He's such a good actor.
Well, the first films I've actually seen, which is a very unknown film when DiCaprio is like just coming up, was it's called The Basketball Diaries. I don't know if you
never
guys have
heard
ever
of
seen it.
that.
It's a
Yeah, never heard of
great
it.
film. Yeah, and he showed. In
You
this
seen
one
Shutter
scene-
Island, right?
Yeah, but
Fuck
in this
Shutter
one-
Island.
his,
That made me really, really sad.
Yeah.
I've saw the
Very
first like
upsetting.
third of it, and then I got tired.
How about
I was like,
Inception?
Fuck this,
Inception?
yeah. Never seen. I saw like the first like
Saw that
quarter
back,
of it.
when did that come out? Like 2009, 2010?
Yeah.
How about The Revenant?
Nope.
Nope.
What?
Will not
Oh,
watch
sorry.
that.
Very passionate about
Dude.
DiCaprio, man.
Will not watch
The
that.
Revenant? Oh, you have to.
I've
No.
It's so good.
I don't
like
like
it.
having
You'll love
things
it.
like that in my mind.
Yeah, okay, I can understand that, but it's so good. It's so good.
Check out Basketball Diaries. There's one scene. It's very where I got the utmost respect for DiCaprio as an actor. His just the lengths that some actors go through, like they put themselves kind of in like in hypnosis where they feel these emotions. Like say you got to get really emotional
Oh, yeah.
for like
So
a
that
piece.
is bringing yourself into hypnotic
Yeah,
state.
and I saw this. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I have the utmost respect for DiCaprio. It's what him in
it's
the
such an
Basketball Diaries. Yeah, it's
interesting-
and that's where I get that. That's where I give my respects to actors if they can put themselves in those situations for roles. No,
I was just thinking, you know, what is another really good DiCaprio movie?
which one?
Catch Me If You Can.
Yes, he's getting
I don't
everything.
think
man.
I've seen. Wait, what is it
He's
about?
good.
What is
Oh
it
my
about?
God,
No,
it's
I
him.
have to
It's
know.
Tom
It's like the
Hanks,
feds-
right?
yeah, the feds
It's
are- he's
him
like-
and Tom Hanks.
the feds are at him-
and
after him or
he's like
something.
this young guy, and he's like just a crook. He's like a criminal, and he's like jacking all these identities. He like somehow becomes a pilot, like all this. He becomes a doctor, and he's just got this trail where no one can catch him, and it's just it's so
Tom
good.
Wait, so what is this
Hanks
called
on his
again?
ass.
Catch Me If You Can. Yeah,
I
Good
gotta watch
film.
it. I wanna
That's
watch
a
it.
Film,
really,
dude.
really
You
good
said you like
one.
Tom Hanks too, right?
Yeah, Tom
Yeah.
Hanks is fucking
Perfect
awesome. Tom Hanks is
movie.
amazing.
Perfect.
Tom Hanks is such a Tom Hanks is the type of person.
No, he's
you
a very
can't-
good actor.
You can't hate Tom Hanks.
No,
And he's
you
a good
can't.
person.
Can't.
He's a
No,
very
you
good
can't.
person.
He's
Yes.
so good.
Yeah.
He's like a genuine person.
And that matters to
He's
me.
everybody's
That
dad.
matters.
That's
Yeah.
who he is.
Of course,
You need to
man.
like.
Wait, what's that box? What's that?
That's what I like to finish off the segments with. It's you ever do you know about it? Answer the Internet?
No.
You don't know about it? Okay. You probably know about Barstool though, I guarantee you.
Oh yeah.
It's like a
Everybody knows Barstool.
yeah, it's a like a it's like it's a part like party games, like card games, party games and stuff like
Okay.
that. It's we always ask like
Rhino?
a few more questions. Yeah. We get some
I love how your
debatable
sister
things.
got like fucking like so defensive.
We got
She's like, we are not
into
fucking talking about
such
this. We got in such a heated
Yes,
debate.
we did. Yeah, we did. We were very
what?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's the question is, what would you rather fight? It would be a rhino or a short gladiator. What would you rather
Such
fight?
an easy one.
A fucking short gladiator.
Of
Are you
course.
kidding me? A
You'd
rhino
rather
would
fight-
fucking
right,
kill you.
murder
Exactly.
dude.
My sister said short gladiator, and
we
we got
called her
for
just
some reason.
insane.
For some reason, right? It seems like such an obvious answer.
Yeah.
It is.
It just went off the rails. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
She
we
was,
couldn't.
she was
just-
very defensive about her short
yeah,
gladiator.
we had to end up calling my dad. My dad, which didn't. And you know what? He didn't help the situation either.
I know.
He didn't help the
I know.
situation because I put it on speakerphone. I was pumped because I knew because I had the majority.
Yeah,
fucking,
yeah.
Wait, do you have the license plate Joe Buck?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, that just like popped into my head. I was
Yes.
like, I remember that.
That's a long story.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I
sorry,
I remember
go
from
ahead.
high school. I
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
nobody,
Joe Buck
nobody
was
knew.
super
Nobody
good.
knew why.
fucking Joe Buck.
Nobody knew
I
why.
would see that car back.
That's him.
Do you guys
Yeah.
want to know
Yeah.
the backstory? Everybody always asks. So here it is. Okay. So my dad, when he was younger, used to wear cowboy boots, and one of his favorite films is called Midnight Cowboy. Mm-hmm. It's about like a male prostitute and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he wore cowboy boots. And one of his good friends one time just called him, "Hey, you like Joe Buck?" And it just stuck. It's one of those things. So
Really?
yeah, my dad,
That's awesome.
like my mom doesn't call him his
Your
real name.
dad is the fucking man. By the way.
he's-
Oh, I bet he
I
would
wish
be.
my dad was.
I'll
like
let
that.
him know. Hey, shout out to Joe Buck.
Shout
But-
out. Sorry about my. I'm not throwing shade on my father, but
Yeah,
like, I wish.
it's just
your
like
dad's
it's like
fucking
you have that moment where like somebody says a name and it just sticks like a
Yeah.
nickname.
Yeah.
So that was his name. His real name is Paul, but my mom calls him Buck. Like everybody calls him
Really?
Buck. Yeah, his name is
Oh,
Buck. Yeah,
that's
so
cute. Wait.
that's the backstory.
Well,
And then I
so-
got his license plate.
All
I have,
right,
I have a
guys.
man for that.
Question.
what's up?
All right. So favorite category on Pornhub. What is it?
Pog.
God,
I hear
that
this
we're
way
getting
this
we're
guy-
getting into it.
This fucking guy in his pog.
We're getting
Pog.
into it.
Anything Pog. Anal.
See, like, for oh my god,
What, man?
mine's always changing. But and I'm definitely one of those people that's like,
I have Say it.
No, I'm saying I'm definitely one of those people that
It's always changing. For me, I have like my set categories.
Mine changes like the wind. I don't know why.
Really?
Like, I like be in a mood for like whatever it is.
No, but that's it. You got to pop around.
But I am so fucking analytical of porn. Like
You have to like go through several videos.
Yeah,
like,
that
so you
lighting.
can get one.
I don't like that lighting behind them. Like,
Oh my god! Or you're just like, this is so
Really?
inauthentic. Like she doesn't
Exactly.
even look. She's enjoying it.
Yeah. Yes, I can't do
I hate
that.
that. I hate those like scripted. Like,
Oh man,
I hate like bad lighting.
I have this weird thing for clothed females. It's called there's thing at the abbreviation is CFNM.
Really?
Clothed female naked male. Yeah, for
Interesting.
some reason, just like ripping a woman's like
Oh,
pants
yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah,
It's like for
I
some
can-
like
I can
you're at like an
totally see that.
interview and
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I've that.
That's a good
Pog, anal, and CFNM.
Okay.
That's
For
a
some,
good one.
that's it. That's like it. If they're all blended in one, that's
Why
even
don't
better.
we just call it Pog?
Pog, or since my name is Brendan, just Bog. Bog.
Oh my
Buck and
God.
Bog.
Pog, dude.
Next time Buck comes on.
Why don't we just go through that computer real fast?
Oh
and see?
Jesus Christ, Buck and
That's a
Bog.
good one.
That's
Yeah.
fucking good. But, you know.
Okay. He's having a nice dream. He's dreaming of Pornhub.
He's like, ooh, porn. Say no
He's
more.
like-
Pog.
He's like, did someone say bog?
Did someone say pog?
Pog? Dog?
Did someone say pog? Did someone say clothed females? Nah. Oh, get me all hot and bothered.
We're saying dog. We're saying
That's what
dog,
he's
Sully. Not Pog, not
Oh,
Pog.
what a cutie pie.
Yeah, that's the one thing, man. I have to have if my girl. I have to.
Do you-
have
okay,
to have
well,
a big
do you-
ass. I
are you-
hate to sound just shallow, but
No,
that's it,
that's-
man.
yeah.
You need big ass.
I don't.
get that.
I personally, for me,
Can't.
I used to see like I don't know. I used to whatever like things that I wanted. I don't know. From nowadays,
Really?
I
I just
give
feel
a
like
fuck, dude.
I just gravitate. It just gravitates and it just
I
happens.
there was like I think the last girl that I like genuinely really loved, dude. Like she had nothing.
Are we keeping this in the fucking video? This whole porn talk?
I don't know.
Hey, it's your fucking show,
We're just talking,
bud.
we're having fun,
Jeez.
but we'll pick what we want. But
Authenticity sells, I'll tell you
exactly.
that much.
That's very
It's
true.
good. It's good to just be authentic.
That's very true. I like women a lot of times. Andrew Schultz, you know who Andrew Schultz was? Who Andrew Schultz is? He's
No.
Brilliant Idiots.
No idea.
The podcast, Brilliant Idiots.
Oh yeah, okay.
Andrew
yes.
Schultz, you know Andrew
Okay,
Schultz,
yeah, I know
right?
Andrew Schultz.
I
didn't like know his name like when he just said it. But when
Yeah,
he,
he's a comedian. He has his
Okay.
own podcast and stuff. He was on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan was talking like, yeah, these women just gotta have big thighs and big butt. I'm like, yep. And Schultz is like, I don't know if you'll find this funny. He's like, she's built like a turkey, just like the big fucking
that.
big round butt. I love
get that.
women just built like
Okay,
turkeys, man.
question.
Just big. I like
That's always what you've been
I
into.
like
That's
disproportion.
I
Question.
do
Like
not.
it
Mark.
doesn't. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys love thick thighs. You love a thick
I never
ass.
said I did. I
Well,
never
no,
said it.
just in general.
I do.
But now, so what is the
Editing.
belief? Because like for me personally, I have a fat butt, I have fat thighs, but there's also the cellulite aspect of it. Does that play a role in the attraction?
Hell, fucking no. I don't give a fuck about that shit,
Yeah,
dude.
no.
Like I got fuck.
Yeah,
I used to be
no.
fat. I got fucking.
Yeah, no.
I got stretch marks all
Yeah, I
over.
don't
me.
care.
Like, I don't give a fuck.
More
No girl
cushion-
has ever
yeah.
come to me and be like, "Oh,
no,
sick, your
more
stretch
more
marks."
cushion for pushing.
Okay.
I do
That's
not
it.
care about.
I
don't care about. Honestly, I don't care about looks that much. Like I really. just
I
don't.
care about ass
That's
that
beautiful.
much though, man.
This is an ass guy.
I always knew
This
that.
is an
I
ass
always,
guy.
I always knew that. I've known that
Wow.
since high school. I've known that. Like,
Yeah,
you've
This
always
has never
been-
gone
guy.
away.
You were
for some
like,
reason.
Let's
man.
regress him to the point where that fetish picked up.
Yeah, what happened, Brent? What
I
happened?
don't know,
in your life?
man. I don't know.
Did you get abused by a fat ass girl?
Oh my god, you guys are cracking me up. We should probably here. Let's get to the answer to the internet.
Okay, let's do it.
Alright,
Let's
alright,
do it.
alright.
Let me finish my drink and let's do it.
I need another one.
Guys, this was so fun.
Yeah, it is. Isn't
I
it
had a
so much
really
fun?
great
I love
time.
it. Like,
Please
once
have
we
me
start-
back at some
Once we
point.
start doing this, we're just
Yeah,
like, dude, fuck
well,
it,
the thing
I'll
is,
do this.
we want to get like a few under our
Get Josh.
belt.
We gotta get Josh in here. too.
Get a few under our belt, and then like start promoting big time.
Love it.
'Cause- Cool.
Love it.
I'm glad to have you on. Thank
No,
you for
it's so
coming
fun.
once again.
And I'm so excited to see how you guys evolve because you just started this and like I can see the parallels with me just starting my business back in when was that, May, and you're gonna just find your groove, you're gonna watch yourselves evolve and things are gonna change. You might delete things, you might
hell
rework
yeah.
things entirely for the very beginning because I feel like you guys have something special here and I'm excited to see what happens.
That's
I
good to
think
hear. Thank you.
You've got
We
great
appreciate it.
energy, you've
And
got
that
great conversational skills.
We thought the
so-
same thing about you. So that's why we wanted you.
Well,
on.
thank you.
Dude, like, she's
Yeah, this is
definitely
really
cool
fun.
to have on.
Really fun. Okay, so what do we do here?
Okay, so
I still don't know how to do this
just,
shit. So.
just answer the internet. So I'll just take this. I mean, oh geez. Okay, so this is like an example, right? All right. Would you rather punch your grandma in the face to fuck the girl of your dreams? That doesn't apply to you.
To fuck the girl of my dreams.
And the answer for me is no.
No shit, no.
Like how hard?
Oh my God.
How hard
That's an
would
ex-
you
that's
punch
an
her?
How hard?
Like, am I punching her like to break her face, or am I punching her just be like boop?
Like a solid, like a 5 out of 10. Let's put that.
I think my grandma would take a punch for that.
Oh
Really?
my God.
Yeah.
I did not
I
expect
think
that.
she'd be. I think
Okay.
she'd be on board though. So.
on board.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Oh,
She'd
yeah.
be down for that idea.
I
You
think
got
so.
cool grandparents.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Let's hear.
Yep.
Let's hear yours. You can check it out.
My grandmother.
I have one.
Yeah, you can pull us that. Or if you don't want to ask that one, you can pull the next card.
Wait,
That one's stupid. Okay.
Unless you have one. Do you have a card?
Ooh.
When somebody has a
Ooh.
good one. Somebody has a good one. Oh God.
Do you have one?
Yeah. No, I don't want to ask that one though.
Why?
There's a lot of because it involves dogs,
Oh.
not pogs.
Oh.
Oh, we need some good ones. Let's get some good ones.
Yeah, check
Let's
out yours.
Find some good ones.
Like roll through here.
There's some-
Okay. Okay. If you could fuck any girl for the rest of your life, but you can only ever watch women's sports, would you do it?
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I just kind of zoned out.
So if you could fuck any girl you want for the rest of your life, but you can only ever watch women's sports, would you do it?
He doesn't really watch sports, so
Oh, so
I watched a
that's
little. I mean, I watched a little bit of like,
Okay.
basketball and.
Would you
Yeah.
live without sports to fuck any girl you wanted for the rest of your life?
that's a really good fucking
He's like,
question.
no, actually.
Oh yeah, no, that once in a blue moon when I.
love sports.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I do love sports though.
Okay, Brendan.
Okay, Brendan.
Okay, Pog.
God damn. Yeah. You're over here talking. You had a 20-minute intro about Pog. Now you're gonna say, I think I'd choose sports over
Well,
Pog.
you know what? I mean, like, I don't know. Fucking, I feel like that just takes the whole like fun out of the.
Oh my God! Wait, I
out of,
have
like,
the most
the-
topical question.
What?
The most topical question.
Okay.
Would you rather only be able to jerk off to naked girls you know, or fully clothed porn stars?
Oh, Brennan, we know.
Here's another
We know
one.
Brennan's.
Here's another one. Is there something that makes you automatically swipe right on Tinder?
What's oh, just a butt?
Yeah.
Automatically swiping right.
Yeah. Swipe
Just the
right.
butt.
I barely used Tinder.
Yeah, fuck Tinder. Fuck those.
really.
Fuck
Okay.
those
Wait,
apps.
Wait, yours was pretty good though. What was that one?
What was it?
What was the one that you just said before?
It was, would you rather only be able to jerk off to naked girls you know, or fully clothed porn stars?
I gotta think about this one.
Wait,
Fully go. Wait. So girls I know. So like.
wait. I feel like that's like an easy one for. I mean, for me,
What is it? What's
is
your
it?
answer?
to jerk off to naked girls you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Actually, you're kind of right.
fully clothed porn star
I mean,
versus
honestly,
a
like-
naked girl. I mean,
I'll be
I can
honest.
get
Like,
off on a
I
girl
use
with
my
clothes on.
I use my imagination more so like than I use my imagination a lot to jerk off. Like I like maybe
Yeah.
like a little bit of porn, but like I can literally just like jerk off to my imagination.
that's
Yeah.
a beautiful skill to
Yeah.
have.
Oh yeah,
really
Oh,
is.
that's the best. That's even the best.
You know what? You know what's good?
That's
you know what's good
orgasms.
for- you know
Well,
what's
yeah,
good for,
sex. I mean, what?
You know what's good for
kind
sex
of
drive
What?
is fats.
Yeah. He's all about the fats. He's a peanut butter king over here, man.
I will
really
say though,
love
like
peanut
you
butter.
mentioned before about keto. When I was doing keto, I could fuck like 20,000 times a day, dude.
That's why I went vegan, dude.
I
All
could
for the
fuck
dick.
all
Everything
day.
I do, my girlfriend,
fuck all day.
gets so
Like
upset.
Josh-
She's like,
like Josh
everything
with
you
the
do
foot-
is
with
for
the
your
foot on the
dick.
wall,
I'm
dude.
like, yep.
Yes.
Josh with the foot on the wall.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
me. That was
Yeah.
me during
Oh,
keto.
dude, that's why I went
With the
vegan.
foot on the wall,
That
dude,
is
like-
that is like actually why I went vegan. I'm a vegan, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, and
It said every vegan ever.
I'm being that vegan. This is a big time.
Would you rather
right
be an
here.
extremely good-looking paralyzed person or a hideous,
Extremely
fully
good-looking. I know this one.
functioning person? That's fucking awful.
Wait, what does
That's
it
a
say?
terrible one.
Talking to the mic.
That's so toxic. What? Oh, sorry. Would you rather be a extremely good-looking paralyzed person or a hideous, fully functioning person? It's such a terrible-
Extremely good-looking dude, paraplegic.
Yeah,
Yes,
really?
definitely. Yeah, man. Kidding me? Because you got.
I mean, like, how ugly are you? Like, are you like really?
Well, it
I'd
said
be- dude, I'd be
hideous.
fucking-
the thing
I'd
is, though,
have like some.
You could
like,
always make yourself look better by just
That's
like
true.
taking care of yourself.
Dude,
That's
I'd be
true.
pimping in
Working
my
out, like-
wheelchair, dude. I'd be pimping around in my wheelchair.
But what if your dick doesn't work?
Well,
No more plugs for you, Brennan.
Well, you know
Wait,
what?
I'm gonna delete that pog section off
So
your
you're gonna be
computer.
pretty, but you can't fuck. Like
Well,
that
that's all.
sucks.
That all depends. Can your dick work or not?
Sure, your dick.
I mean, if you're
Okay,
paralyzed,
then-
can your dick work?
I would still rather. I would probably still rather look like shit. And
Yeah, I get.
So I would
think
rather look
get
like
what you're
shit
saying.
and be like a fully functioning person, and then I would just take the precautions. I would work out. I would like
Well, I
take
mean,
care
yeah,
of my
you
skin.
could just
I would
get
like,
like facial reconstructive surgery.
yeah,
at
exactly.
this
If it's
point.
yeah, exactly. You can't do
Here's a
anything
good
about
one.
being like.
How far are you willing to drive for sex?
Drive.
Very.
Yeah.
See, the
fucking
furthest.
far.
I'm trying to think. Okay.
I'm sorry. I will say I have drove 4.5 miles, or no, 4.5 hours for
4.5 hours for a booty call.
What's the furthest?
kind of. It was like so. Yeah, it was pretty much.
What is the furthest I would drive?
Was the furthest? Probably a lot.
There's factors. There's variables. How hard
Yeah.
are you? Like, how hard are you? Like,
My ex-boyfriend lives 6 miles away. Or sorry, 6 hours.
6
Just say what you did.
6 yeah, no,
6 hours away.
6 hours away.
6
I could never
hours
do
away.
like a long.
See, the
I
thing
used
is,
to
I
fly.
like driving.
I used to
I like driving
fucking
too.
fly
If I had to
to
Really?
see this person.
That's a
Wow,
nice booty
that's
call.
dedication.
It's
Good for
so
you.
small. Wasn't worth it.
If how long would I would say like if it's more than 8 hours, or
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say
I
for me
feel you.
actually I'll
I think
take
8
5.
hours is kind of like
Yeah,
I feel like
8
8 hours
hours.
is like the absolute max.
Yeah.
It
that I'm
depends on
willing to go.
how much you like them, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
and
true.
how,
If it's
how
like-
hot they are. You
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's see.
I've definitely drove a good little minutes though. Like,
Mary Fuck Hill. I have no idea who these women are. Lisa Turtle, Kelly
I don't know
Kapowski,
who
Jesse
any of these people
Spano.
Don't know a single one
Probably
of those people.
Kapowski, because for some reason that's another thing with Pogs. I just gravitate to Polish people.
Hey,
My
Czapiga,
girlfriend-
what's
why am I getting
up?
all the fucking
My
crippled?
girlfriend's yeah,
you
Polish.
take
people.
Get that Polak, dzień dobry,
For some reason,
motherfucker.
yeah. For some reason, Polish. Yeah.
I get that.
Would you take a guaranteed Olympic medal in the Paralympics? So, wait, what? Wait, what? This question doesn't make sense. Would you take a guaranteed Olympic medal in the Paralympics? Question mark.
Oh no!
Someone
Would
would-
you take a guaranteed Olympic medal, but in the
Oh,
Oh yeah,
but in
no.
the par-
that-
I'm-
but
why
that
can't
still
I-
doesn't make that the question
Yeah,
mark doesn't
right,
make
like-
sense there. No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, see, like the question mark is what threw me off. Right?
Someone
All right.
would
Would
sit
you rather?
there.
Would you rather
That's
never
weird.
be able to get off again, or have the feeling you have to shit for the rest of your life?
I'm sorry. Read that
Oh,
one
that's a
more
good
time.
one.
Never be
That's a
able
hard
to
one.
get off again, or have the feeling you have to shit.
I would rather have to feel like I have to shit all the time.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
That's a very horny person talking.
Yeah. No, I agree too. I agree too. Never.
I
Get
had to
off.
think about it, and she's just like, "Yo, I know that
Dude,
one." I know
everything we do is for reproduction.
Always. Everything.
And when it comes down to
So what
animalistic,
would you rather
Uh-huh.
do?
I would rather be able to feel like
he's
I
like-
fucking shit all the time.
It's like I really want
To
to
never
You
get
know what's
off
fu-
again,
Yeah,
dude?
you know what's fucked up is that you're actually like, it's actually crazy to think about like how like the lengths you would go through, and it's like I probably would
Dude,
too.
well, no, it's the whole biology. Like, what is it called? Fitness. Fitness
Mm.
in terms of biology is how capable, how successful a species is in reproduction.
Mm.
That's fitness. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what we. That's why. That's we solely. Everything we do is just for fitness and
Yeah.
reproduction. That's
Yeah.
it. Everything we
You're
do.
not
The way
wrong.
we
Would you,
dress.
would you rather date a cool girl who's 25 pounds overweight isn't even that much. 25 pounds
Are
overweight.
you fucking kidding me? 25 pounds overweight is like nothing.
Yeah, it's not-
Really?
And what did it? What constitutes
You know what?
overweight?
Fuck
fuck
this
that.
whole question.
Yeah, fuck the question.
that whole question.
And what
When we
even
got-
constitutes 25
Burn it.
pounds overweight?
Fuck that
What's
question.
even overweight? Like that's like
25. I was 25 pounds overweight when I was in college. Like,
yeah, that's so stupid.
And if it's in the ass.
Hey, I was like
Exactly.
I was probably like 100 pounds overweight in high school.
Yeah.
are you
So, like,
really?
I was 220. I was 220.
yeah,
I
he's
was
big,
220.
yeah.
Get
when I
the
was
fuck
like,
out of here.
I was
I don't
220 when I was
remember
younger.
that.
Yeah, when I was younger, I was 220. I was a lineman in football. I was a football
Really?
lineman.
I feel like I don't even have like a vision
Yeah,
of what
I
that
was a
version of you
fucking
looks
big
like.
boy. I was a big.
That's
I was a big boy.
crazy. How'd you lose it? Just what'd you do?
My dad kind of helped me a little bit.
Yeah?
My dad's fucking like my dad's gone to the gym his entire life. And, like,
Yeah.
I kind of asked him like for like a plan, like how to like lose weight and all that, and I kind of just I've talked to Brandon about this a bunch. It was like so junior year to high school or junior year to senior year
Of high school.
Yeah, so like junior year, I was just fed up of being like fat and people. Someone stood me up at prom. I don't even know if I told you that. I'm not gonna say her name.
Can
I'm not
you
gonna
say it and
I'm
then,
not
like,
saying her name.
bleep it
it's
out?
Not. No, I'm not saying her name.
Say it
But
afterwards.
Do
yeah.
I know who it is though? I'm
you might know her. And not. She wasn't like. You might not actually know her, but. Yeah.
Ew,
and, like,
what the
ever since
fuck?
that, I was like, well, you know what's funny though is like I actually kind of like am thankful for it because it's like it was like the first time in my life that I actually like started caring about like how I looked. You know what I mean?
So it was like
yeah.
the trigger you needed.
like growing up, dude. Like I remember like looking at myself like when I was like younger, dude. Like I would like I don't know if you remember me like 8th grade, like
Yeah.
the DC trip, dude. I would like never fucking
Oh my
shower.
God, the DC
I would like
trip.
never shower. Like
was
I would just like
classic, yeah.
fucking like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would just like whatever. Like, I didn't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
So it's like that was like the first point where I was just like. Maybe
Then
maybe
again.
I'm just fucking like not trying at all.
All for
I
the
wasn't.
fitness,
And
man.
I
Well, you
wasn't,
look
like-
great now.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
fucking
But
congrats.
I wasn't trying whatsoever. So it's
Yeah,
like,
but now it's like
Yeah.
you realize all for the sex, man. All for the fitness. Lost the
well,
weight.
I didn't do it for that at first.
Part of it probably was.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, part of it like is like part of it was like from that
Yeah.
scenario where it's like,
Yeah.
like I want to like be attractive. I'm like 16. Like,
Exactly.
I
That's
don't want to
what-
look
Do
like
you think-
shit. I don't want people to
I
like
think
me.
over
Like,
like 50%. I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't say this. I work out solely for my benefit. It's a mental thing for me.
Yeah.
like, to work
I do
out.
not work out ever.
Yeah,
And I feel no shame about that.
Everybody's built different. I go for runs. It's actually mentally therapeutic why I go for
Yeah.
runs, not physically.
It is.
Physically,
That's
it's
like
it's
my
an asset.
roommate,
It's an
yeah.
asset.
Yeah.
It's an asset, but it's like a mental relief. Just like that's my cigarette or whatever.
We getting that, Brennan?
All right, so here's I'll ask one more card. Okay. This one is there's a 4-stall bathroom with a glory hole in each stall, 3 with smokes and 1 with a dude. Do you take a chance? Yep, a mouth to mouth.
Okay, you read that way too fast.
All right, so I answered really fast too. You got you're in a
hold on,
4x4
let me think
room.
about this.
We're talking about pizza.
No, glory
pizza-
holes.
Okay.
Glory holes.
Pizza scenario, the glory. I told you about that, right?
So 3 of them, they're smoke shows, and then
Yeah.
there's one with just.
A dude.
do you take the risk? You take the risk?
Do you take the chance?
No, of course fucking not.
Okay, so
I
you
would take
guys
the chance.
answer that and then
I would take the chance.
rephrase it for me.
I would take the chance.
I would-
100%.
I would not
Are you
take the
kidding me?
chance.
Because
Okay, give me your reason.
Because if one guy's a dude, he's probably gay, and gay guys know the human anatomy, and they'll probably fucking
You probably
do good.
get a baller
blowjob.
blowjob.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
would, but like,
Here's the
But
thing.
also,
Here's a question
would you
too.
even know that
Exactly.
it was a dude? Like,
If I didn't
who
know
the
it was a
fuck
dude,
cares?
that's
wouldn't
the
it just be
thing.
weird, like not knowing, like?
That's the
I
whole
feel like
point
the
of a
whole-
glory
even-
hole.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of a glory
But
hole.
like honestly,
You
like for
don't
me,
know.
it's like I don't know. Okay,
You got, dude,
whatever.
mouth to mouth at that point, and if it's really good.
Okay,
and here's the thing
Brennan.
too.
Okay, Mr. Masseuse
Dude,
over here.
here's the
Mouth
thing.
to mouth,
Here's
though,
the
what?
thing too.
Okay,
We can massage. This is a
I
massage,
get asked this.
Brennan.
I get asked this at work all the time. It's like a debated question when like somebody new comes in, like and they're a guy. We ask them this question: would you suck your own dick if you could?
Would I?
Yeah.
Honestly,
If I could do
I
that,
would.
yes.
I probably would.
Because what's the difference between your hand and your mouth, right?
Exactly.
If you just
I honestly would.
I definitely would.
I would.
Okay. Yeah, it's.
I
Yeah, exactly.
would.
That's a
Right.
that's a great point. Yeah.
I feel like, but I feel like we like evolved so that we can't because if we could, we would never leave our house.
Oh, we would never reproduce.
We were just like, what's the point of
You figured it out. He's got the key to evolution right here. The reason we aren't as evolved as we can be is because
We all
we
have
would be sucking our own dicks.
We would.
He's got the, he's
Dude,
got
we're
the
that
answer.
stupid.
The sacred text.
We'd just be sitting
got
in our
it.
fucking apartments,
We've all
fucking.
got what's it called?
Sclerosis?
Sclerosis, is that what it's called? And everyone's just backs are
Here,
bent
what's this
over
one?
and we've all got humps.
No. All right. You got any more, Kaitlyn?
No, mine were all done.
Okay, Connor, you got the last one. Then we'll close up. Make it a good one. That's fucking stupid. I can all end up. You want to?
Would you rather sleep with a sexy midget or a below average regular chick?
A below average regular chick, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like.
I could fuck a 4, but if you got a big ass.
Oh my god.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming.
God damn it, Brennan. God damn it, Brennan.
That's true. That's true. That's the whole thing of Butterface, right?
Yeah.
Sure. See, honestly, for me, like I'm more attracted to face above anything.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you got it.
That's like that's number one.
If I were to
mean,
date you, yes.
face,
Yes.
like
Yes.
I don't care.
100%.
I don't care what about
Well,
body.
it's the
at
thing
all.
you're looking at most.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about people's body.
100%. Yeah, especially if I'm dating you, that definitely applies. So yeah, we're about to wrap this up. This is gonna be a little less than 2 hours after editing because we got some stuff we got to edit out. But anyways,
Please cut those things out.
Yeah, we got it.
anyways, guys, it's been Kaitlyn. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thank
Okay.
you so much for
This has
having
been
me.
third episode of the 860 show. Okay, guys, cheers. Have a good night.